following is a UTV 44 sports production.
Friday Night Rivals.
This is the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers UTV 44 Game of the Week, presented by the Mobile and Baldwin County Sheriff's Offices and the Drug Education Council.
It is the game of the week in the state of Alabama tonight for sure. In 6A, as a couple of unbeaten teams roll up to the top of the hill here in Spanish Fort. The Blount Leopards come in 6-0, 4-0 in region play, taking on the Toros, who are ranked number 2 in the state. They're 6-0 and 4-0 as well. The winner of tonight's game, the inside track to win the region. Good evening. I'm Jim Cox. My partners, as always, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett. Dan, I don't know what much more we can say about this game that hasn't been said all week long leading up to this great matchup.
I don't know either. And you could say, wow, Spanish Fort's played in the big games before. They've won the state 3 out of the last 5 years. That's a lot of big games to get there, right? And Blount's on the road. Yeah, guess what? Blount averaging 45 points a game, and 5 of the first 7 are on the road. They're okay.
Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup. Great players all over the field. But when you talk about Spanish Fort, there's one young man that always comes to mind.
We were watching him in warm-ups, and there's just something about this guy, Tyler Johnston. Here's the deal. He got injured with a bad ACL last year, was not in this game during the regular season, was gone for the whole year. That young guy is 26-0 as a starting quarterback at Spanish Fort High School, has never lost a game. That gives the edge to Spanish Fort right there.
Yeah, and some people think he won't lose his entire career here. But, Vic, 45 points a game for Spanish Fort, 44 points a game for the Blount Leopards. But you know what? They're also pretty good on the other side of the football. Both teams are.
Yes, they're very good on defense. They've held their opponents to 12 points per game. And a big part of this has been this guy right here, Massey. Terrence is a 5'10", 175 shutdown corner. Dan, he contributes on offense as well.
Yes,
I've seen him do several pancake blocking for his other teammates as a wide receiver. So look for him to be a big impact in this game on both sides of the football.
This was one of those games during the summer that you thought, we're probably going to be here this night, and we are, and we can't wait. Kickoff comes up next. It's Spanish Fort and Blount up on the hill. Huge crowd here tonight. Getting ready for the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. Toros have charged the field. They are ready to get this one going, as are the Blount Leopards. The Toros will kick off. And before we get this one going, let's send it down to the sidelines for a sideline report from the orthopedic group with Ashley Pope.
Well, guys, I have got the best seat in the house tonight. I am standing on top of a trash can. Tonight, if you did not have a ticket, you did not get a seat. People have been here since 5 o'clock. Bleachers have been brought in. Traffic still coming in tonight. It is definitely going to be the game of the 6A tonight here.
We are excited to get this one underway, as is everyone in attendance here tonight. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett up in the booth, and the Toros will kick off going right to left as you watch things from your living room. Toros in the gray on gray jerseys. First time we've seen those.
Yeah, they got a bunch of combinations this year. That thing looks, that's just a brand new look.
Yep, they wore them last week in the win over Baldwin County, and the Leopards in the white with purple letters. Antonio Wright, Reginald Todd, Terrence Massey, Vic highlighted in the pregame show. Back deep, Matthew Quinn, the freshman with a big leg, ready to kick off for the Spanish Fort Toros. And this one underway, 6-0 on each side. Kick taken at the 25. It's Massey coming all the way across the field, trying to get out to the 30. Jukes it back, and he'll get to the 32-yard line, and we will see the Blount Leopard offense, high-powered, led by that man, his first year here at Matty T. Blount. Lev Holly, perfect through 6, first time that the Leopards have been 6-0 since 2011. Kelvin Sigler was the coach. They opened up the year perfect. They ended up going 9-1. Started the year 9-0, only lost to Viger last game of the regular season. Then they lost in the second round of the playoffs to the Fairhope Pirates. Kadarius Toney has thrown for 1,741 yards on the season and 17 touchdowns, and he's rushed for 7 more, and Blount slow to get this one going. Have to take a timeout before the first snap, as the play clock was already down to 2.
Well, somebody's got the jitters. I don't know if it's the coaching staff or the players, but that's evident right there.
I got him.
We got them, but they're not going to penalize us. They're just going to turn down the sound, I guess.
Well, let me tell you guys, it's just football. Keep that in mind.
Lev Holly said in the pregame show just that, Vic. He said, hey, we got to get through just about the first 6 minutes, and then it just kind of settles in to a football game.
That's
but
right.
you gotta withstand all the emotion you're going to see right here. And, of course, everybody's been talking about this game so much leading up to this week. Ben Blackman, head coach of the Spanish Fort Toros.
Vic, I got a little intel during the week that the Blount team was so focused that the coaches were trying to find things to pick on them about, because the kids themselves were kind of razor sharp. You know, that's not a good indicator right there, but obviously they are emotionally into this thing. Is there any drawback from that?
Well, you can peak at the wrong time of the week, but hopefully they peaking at the right time, right now, tonight, and then they're going to perform.
Looking to throw. Tony wants to air it out middle of the field, and that one's picked off at the 40-yard line. First play of the game, the interception, and the pick comes from DeVoris Thomas, the senior. And Tony throws a line drive down the middle of the field, and this one, Thomas read the whole way.
Yeah, the receiver was double covered there, and he just right there ran the route almost, and just easy pick there, hit him right between the numbers.
Yeah, Tony looked like he predetermined he was going to go to Todd, who's a great weapon down the field.
6th interception of the season for Todd, and the Toros, how about this, as great as they've been, that's only the 5th interception or 5th turnover they've forced all year.
Wow, that's surprising.
Now motion to the near side, Robert Rella. They pitch it back to him now. Another double passes. They look. Tyler Johnston going to get pressured. He springs away at the 25 and then strong arms it to the near side, and he's got it complete up at the 40-yard line and knocked out of bounds. How about Chase White, who almost ran Dan over in the pregame show fielding punts, comes up with his 3rd catch of the year.
The quarterback's 26-0 as a starter. We can talk about that till we're blue in the face. There's why.
Exactly.
And there's Ben Blackman, first year, came up here from Gulf Shores, just like Mark Freeman did when he came up here to lead the Toros. And what a play to get this game started. Now, Hayden Pittman, starting wide receiver for the Toros, not playing tonight, and that's a huge loss. 17 receptions and 463 yards out of the lineup. They come to Javon Brown, and we will call his number a lot. That's his 35th catch of the season, and we get a flag on the Toros sideline at the end of that play. You would guess 15 more coming up. Up front for the Toros, our Greer starting lineup bets. Jacob Johnson, Johnson big at 302 pounds. Rowe, Prince, and Eubanks on the right side. Lots of weapons to get the ball to as well. Javon Brown, we talked about, he leads the way. There you see Pittman not playing tonight. Harrison, the running back, he's averaging over 100 yards a game. Robert Rella and Morgan there. And, of course, Tyler Johnston is your quarterback, and the Toros already in business at the 19-yard line after the penalty at the end of the play over here on the Spanish Fort side of things.
Tyler Johnston, there's a guy that understands it's just football. You can tell indicative of that play there.
Yeah. Johnston gives it off. Cam Harrison lines it to the 16 before he's wrapped up by D'Angelo Anderson, leading tackler for this Blount squad, his 68th tackle of the season. Madison, Caples, and Dungy up front. Scott Anderson, Allen, and Poe, the linebackers in the secondary. Massey, that Vic talked about on the pregame show, Tucker Williams and Justin Brown. 5 of the 6 opponents have been held to 14 points or less thus far. Big hit as Harrison gets to the 14-yard line, paid the price for going up the middle there.
Hey, remember the Saraland game? They really did not ask Tyler Johnston to run much. They didn't call his number. What they did do, though, they relied on him when the play broke down. Tyler was actually able to rush for about 85 yards, but not on called assignments for the quarterback, just him making plays.
Toros in the Papa John's delivery zone. Use promo code RIVALS to get 2 large, 2-topping pizzas for only $7.77 each, and we get a snap before this one and a flag before this one, and it's going to be very close to a first down if it's against the Blount Leopards.
Oh, encroachment against the defense. The penalty makes the line of game.
It is a first down, and now the Toros have 1st and goal. 20 yards and penalties on this drive against Blount thus far.
Exactly the recipe that they did not want to mix together, but here we go.
Johnston on the keeper, cuts it up the middle, and he's in untouched for the Toro touchdown.
That's the guy we're talking about that feels like it's just football, and you can see right there with his play, he makes the fake pitch, keeps it himself, walks in the end zone, barely touched, if touched at all.
7th rushing touchdown of the year for Tyler Johnston. And the senior quarterback takes advantage of the turnover to open things up here for the Toros.
You'd have to get the FBI, CIA, and KGB to work together and try to figure out some bad stuff on that kid. He is beloved.
Quinn for the point after. And the Toros lead at 7-0. We are just a minute 53 into this one. After the defense comes up with an interception on the first play of the game, Johnston and the Toros march it down the field. And they're up 7-0 on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. Bright lights here in Spanish Fort tonight, and they're shining on the Toros early in this one. They lead 7-0, just a minute 53 into this one as Matthew Quinn kicks off on the far side. That one's going to hit the ground and bounce at the 30, still loose, but calmly grabbed by Massey there at the 29, and the ball comes loose at the end of the play, and then we have flags as well. Wow. Dangerously, the Leopards letting that ball hit the ground.
Yeah, Massey was in a bad spot there. He was kind of in no man's land, whether to go up and field it or just kind of let it hit the ground. He let it hit the ground, and luckily he was able to get his hands on it and secure it, at least initially.
Wait for our referee, Jimbo Perez. Face mask against the Toros. And Blount will have decent field position as we'll go back down to Jimbo Perez.
Personal foul, grasping the helmet opening against the kicking team. First down.
Grasping the helmet opening.
Above the face mask or to the side of it or something like that.
Here's our Aaron scoring summary. 5 plays, 61 yards, just a minute and a half for the Toros, and they lead 7-0, and now we'll see. Leopards, they just had it for 1 play before Kadarius Toney with the rare miscue and the interception by DeVoris Thomas.
Right on cue. How good was Johnston in the first drive?
He was very Tyler Johnston-esque. Lorenzo Martin to the 49-yard line going off the left side. Let's look at this Blount offense. 44 points a game. Lacey Moore, Griggs, and Hunt, and Robinson up front. Robinson 305 on the right side. Antonio Wright, love to watch him play. Competes his heart out every Friday night. He's out there. Woods may get some time starting as well. Shepard and Todd also, and they give this one back off. And Lorenzo Martin to the 44, and that'll be good for a Blount first down. This Spanish Fort defense allowing 19 points a game. That may be a little skewed. Had some the reserve players give us some points to Baldwin County last week. White, Stockton, and Thomas, the linebackers, make it happen for this team. Trey Three, Brady Hall, Colt Steiner, and Thomas Johnston. Mitchell, Holcomb, Thomas, and Dees in the secondary. And now Toney wants to keep it himself, and he's right up the middle. Kadarius Toney, 44-yard touchdown Leopards, no flags.
Y'all, just to let you know, there are 2 quarterbacks in the house tonight. There are 2 quarterbacks in the house tonight, and Toney makes a tone for his interception. Man, oh man, look at the quickness. People are losing helmets on this play.
Yeah, he makes a very good cut there, lets his lineman get in the way of the defender, and from there it's just a sprint.
Now 451 yards rushing on the year for Toney and 8 touchdowns on the ground.
Boy, he is a talented guy too. Doesn't have nearly the experience or the resume of Johnston, but is he a football player? Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Edwin Alvarado Amaya, the kicker for Blount, on for the PAT. What an answer by the Leopards, exactly what they needed. And you know, all of us smart guys were saying, nah, it's probably not going to be a shootout, more of a defensive struggle. We've seen 2 touchdowns in the first 2 minutes and 50 seconds of this one. 7-7 early. Game of the week on UTV 44. Leopard fans, chance to cheer After the early turnover, then they get it, and their star quarterback goes 44 yards for the touchdown. Just 3 plays in 57 seconds at 55 yards.
And the Spanish Fort has got to be able to stop the run with the people up front. They can't afford to bring people from the backside up.
Yeah.
Not with the receivers that Blount has. They've got to be able to be sound defensively up front with their up front 7.
I agree with you 100%.
Maya with the kick. Back to the 5. Had fallen down at the 13-yard line. Just no chance to really get much going. Lost his footing was Josh Peoples. And the Toros will start it at the 13-yard line.
Say a very good evening to Miss Millie Fritz. Know she's tuning in.
Look at Trey Three up there on defense, on offense.
Big Blount supporter.
Lining up, playing a little tight end. Harrison trying to come to the near side. Stays on his feet to the 20. And maybe to the 21-yard line before he's brought down. Donadio Madison. We talked about how big this game was in the pregame. Well, here it is. Here's both the top teams, Spanish Fort and Blount. Spanish Fort has already beat Saraland, who's 4-1. They've already also beaten Baldwin County. So if Spanish Fort wins this game, they're really in the driver's seat because they would have wins over the other teams. Blount has yet to play Saraland. They play him in the last week of the regular season. But winner of this game wins out, and they'll win the region. Harrison able to pick up 7.
Both teams control their own destiny at this point.
Johnson fires on the far side, able to get that one complete up to the 30. That's a first down for the Toros. Johnson sold the fake well. Able to get it off on the far side. That's Rella.
Yeah, very nice play design, especially when you have a quarterback that's a threat. The zone read to me is no good if your quarterback is not a threat to run the football. Well, you know Tyler Johnson can run the football.
Yeah, you do.
8th catch of the year for Rella. I'm just saying the fans might like the gray on gray uniforms. Play-by-play guy, not a huge fan. Blount trying to spin back, and he is not going to be able to get away from the pack of Leopards. Back to the 26. Loss of 6.
You know, we knew Brown was talented watching him last year, playing some quarterback when Johnston got hurt, but what we learned about him is what a competitor he is. He had a game against Saraland where every ball in the air, where he was near it, he was claiming it. He is really a great player.
Evan Howley has made such strides in just 6 weeks. To the near side, hit and not dropped was Brown, but he'll be dropped to the 17-yard line as Brown had Sanchez Tucker all over him immediately. And you see the speed defensively all over the field for the Leopards.
I'm telling you.
And just like you just said, Dan, look at this young man just compete, break a tackle right there. Not a real big guy, but he's going to compete on every play, and that's what coaches love.
Yeah.
Players that will compete.
And we love watching it, too, from
Yeah,
up here,
exactly.
right?
We have a good time, don't we?
You notice, and just like Jim was saying, we also noticed this aggressive speed by Blount. And, you know, again, if Blount does what Vic's talking about, if they figure out this is just football, they're going to be okay.
3rd and 24 all the way back from the 18-yard line. Play clock at 5. Johnston wants motion. Rolls out, now looks long, throw back to Cam Harrison up to the 34-yard line, but he's going to be well short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th and 7.
Key of that play there, he had time to let the play develop, let the receivers run their routes, finish their route, and he's going to find the open guy if you give him time.
Yeah, that's where he's going the whole time with this.
4th catch of the season for Harrison. Javon Brown will come on and punt, and Massey and Antonio Wright.
One thing I didn't mention at the top of the broadcast, Massey is a speed demon. He's a 4-4 guy.
Brown with a good kick. Massey decides not to take it, and the Toros down it right at the 30-yard line. And Ben Blackman sees his team stop for the first time offensively. And when we come back, the Leopards will have it halfway through the opening quarter. It's 7-7 Blount and Spanish Fort here on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. Got our first glimpse of this, one of these great defenses there on that drive. Blount got Spanish Fort behind the chains early on. Now the Leopards with it from the 30. A little change of pace back as they bring in Joshua Brown, who's rushed for 400 yards this year. But Damon Knight comes in, and now he gets a flag for excessive celebration afterwards. Wow.
A little bit of time there, and Jimbo's going to get it under control real early. Surprised to see a Spanish Fort player do that.
Yeah, Knight, not a usual starter up front, but was in there and made the stuff, and then just kind of kept going after the play.
Yeah, did the shut down right over the offensive player, which is, don't want to see that done. Celebrate with your team, not with the opponent.
Yep. No need for that. You're right. Shut it down.
Good ball. Unsportsmanlike against the defense.
15 yards. First down to the 42. Here come the Leopards.
In the words of Santee Gamble, here come the Leopards.
Yeah. LeBaron James Santee, the PA announcer, longtime coach.
Yes.
PA announcer up at Blount High School.
I know the Blount fans recognize that name and knew exactly what we were talking about.
He would have referred to it as the dirty hanky on the field.
Yeah, the dirty laundry hanky on the field.
Good man. Anywhere I see him, he's got a smile on his face.
Tony with pressure coming, steps up in the pocket, looking down the field, fires it off for Wright. It's incomplete. Tony bought some time, then fired it over the head of Wright. Good coverage back there. Stephen Holcomb on the coverage.
He had Shepard one-on-one in the middle of the field, too. They've got some
now
options.
Now a flag gets dropped, almost like someone, maybe an ineligible man downfield. Or maybe too many men on the field. Maybe an eligible receiver downfield. That flag was dropped
Pretty late.
way late.
Well, you can see that Tony can run, and maybe the lineman one of his linemen started to think he's leaving the pocket. He's going, I can
Another
get
receiver
somebody.
downfield on the offense. Repeat first down.
Well, here's where Coach Saban would be livid if he was the Blount coach.
He's probably livid right now.
Anyway.
First and 15. Joshua Brown to the 41-yard line.
Just an observation, guys. I think it's two different games if Blount can really run the football.
Sure.
If they're able to run the ball and create drives that are not necessarily, all big plays, but actually have the football, wear down Spanish Fort a little bit by running the football, mixing run and pass, but running successfully enough, that could be a big element in this game.
Sure. That's my philosophy in any game.
Second and 11. Tony, look at the moves. Now wants a long ride, throws this one over, but you just get a little glimpse of his arm strength and just, kind of jostling around the pocket, and then heaves that one 50 down the field.
I think you saw the total package there. The footwork, the arm strength, all of it.
Elusiveness, right?
Yes, exactly.
Third and 11.
But the other point you were making there, Dan, I think it's important that they keep Mr. Tyler Johnson over here watching the game as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's another part of it, right?
That's right. If they hold the football, they will string some drives together. The longer Johnson watches, the more successful they could be.
Stepping up as Tony fires to the far side, incomplete.
Tony's passing off by a little bit,
Yep.
and it may have cost the Leopards a first down right there.
Put a lot on that one, and Antonio Wright didn't have
Kinda
much
got
of a
a-
chance.
Go ahead. Yeah, he kind of has a side-on delivery there, doesn't he?
It's quick, though.
Yeah. Gets out of his hand.
Reginald Todd will come on to punt.
It's going to be one of the best athletes on the field you're going to see right here punting the football.
Chase White back to receive.
Should we look for the fake, Dan?
No.
Best athlete punting it.
Not the right time and place.
Low snap. Blocked, goes off his own man. Straight up in the air. And Tony, or I should say Todd, goes back on the 19-yard line. He punted that right into the back of his own up man.
Yeah.
But it was the low snap that bounced one time. The Toros had good pressure, but he hit his own man right in the back. Watch.
Well, Jim, you're right. The timing's off with the low snap, and then the up man just gets driven back into the punt.
Yeah, right into.
I guess we'll lay credit to Butt for the block.
Just all the way back to the 19-yard line, and the Toros get a gift of a short field.
You could say they earned it, though.
Papa John's Delivery Zone. Just use promo code RIVALS. 2 toppings, 2 pizzas, $7.77 each. Tyler Johnson pitches it. Ooh, Peebles had that one. It was a little almost out of his reach, and he did a good job to hold on to that because he knew he had pressure coming. Don't forget, you can check us out on Facebook all season long. Just search UTV 44 High School Football Game of the Week. And on Instagram, search UTV44_GOTW. Loss of 1 for the Toros. Johnson brings Brown in motion. Johnson in the pocket, fires, dumps it off underneath, incomplete as Josh Peoples couldn't hold on to it. And 3rd and 11 coming up.
Yeah, they put a little bit too much on there for him to handle it there. But still a catchable football. One thing I'm noticing is they have some very good routes drawn up for these guys offensively. If he has time, well, someone's going to get open.
First incomplete of the night for Johnson. He's now 5 of 6 for 44 yards. 3rd and 11. Johnson, a lot of room on the right side. Wide open in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Toros.
Yeah, just like I said, they draw up some very good routes for these high school kids, and they execute them.
Robert Rello, 2nd catch of the night, 2nd touchdown of the season.
Yeah, what they did is crowd the zone over there and had the guy underneath to draw the attention of the cornerback, and he came up to get the underneath stuff, but there's somebody behind him wide open.
Boy, and it almost looked like when he was rolling out there that he could have run it for a whole bunch as well, but then has the easy pitch and catch for the touchdown.
Well, we've seen Johnson run it when there's no room.
Yep. And now Quinn coming on. And it's good. And it's 14-7. The Toros take advantage of the bad punt. And Tyler Johnston, he's run for 1 and now tossed for 1. And the Toros regain the lead. Toros regain the lead, 14-7. There are just playmakers all over the field on both sides.
Yeah.
High, strong kick. Taking some pants, trying to get free, and he's up to the 16-yard line. You know, like Blount also seeing some of the speed that Spanish Fort has out there. Tough to go sideways on them.
Yeah, they stay in their lanes. They're very, very disciplined, Spanish Fort is.
3 plays, 19 yards, just 23 seconds after the punt that went off the back of their own man. For the Blount Leopards, the Toros take advantage of it. Rello with a touchdown catch from Tyler Johnston, and now Kadarius Toney. Now, Lev Holly said we got to get through the first 6 minutes. They need to kind of right the ship a little bit here. I think get a little momentum going.
I mean, it was an interception that led to Spanish Fort's first touchdown and the block punt to the second.
Fired out on the far side. Todd with his first catch of the night. He breaks a tackle, and he's got a Leopard first down. 22 catches now and over 700 yards on the season for that young man.
He's really a great player. Spanish Fort obviously is good enough, maybe great enough. You don't want to give them anything. Blount's already contributed to the Spanish Fort cause.
You know, and that first touchdown, or the first interception, the first play of the game, it's almost like you just gave another possession when you think about them getting the ball to start the second half after they deferred as well.
That's right. They deferred and ended up with the ball at midfield.
Yep. Lorenzo Martin on the right side to about the 28-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they can get 4, 5, 6 a pop, just running off tackle, it's going to give them an opportunity with some play action to get some big plays.
And they've already stretched the field a little bit just with the long attempted passes down the field they've had early in this game. Tony looking for more. He's going to pull it down to the 32-yard line. And pocket kind of quickly closed down there. Third, I like it, second and about 8. Coming up here for the Leopards. 4-0 in the region, 4-0 on the road, 6-0 on the year, and an empty backfield here for Tony. Tony sidesteps some pressure, now rolls back out, flips it the other way, and it's off the hands and incomplete as he tried to get Lorenzo Martin. And you're seeing early on, Tyler Johnson there, you're seeing the poise that Tony possesses in the pocket. Does not get rattled with people even down low around his feet, just does not get rattled back there.
Yeah, makes a quick side step and keeps his head looking down the field because he doesn't really want to run it unless they call it, but he's always looking downfield at those great athletic wide receivers.
Third and about 7.
Looking confused on offense a little bit.
Yeah, play clock at 5. Tony again steps up, looking for the middle of the field and overthrown as he was looking for Martin, and he way overthrew Martin on that one.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go to number 8, but he was tied up with a defender, and I thought for certain it was going to draw a flag, but did not.
Maybe a little adrenaline for Tony. He's overthrowing, especially on the deep ball when he's got people.
Yeah, I think number 8 was going to be in that spot had he not got tied up with the defender.
Punt team comes on. Todd will stand back at the 16, and this is where it went wrong last time for the Leopards. Better snap, end over end line drive kick. Chase White at the 35, gets it across the 40. Now White across midfield, flag comes back at the 34, making the 44-yard line. And that's going to be a block in the back, you would guess, and that'll block the move the Toros back. Ben Blackman didn't like that call, but I've never seen the coach
Why would he?
That'll agree with those. So it is at the 44, so this is going to back him all the way back to the 34-yard line. That really changes field position up.
Well, I saw where the commotion happened, but I was a beat
During
too
the
late
return,
to see.
we had a block in the back on the return team. First down, Spanish Fort.
Let's see if it was legitimate or not. Here it is right here. Let's see. I think it's clean too. If that's the one we just saw in the middle of the screen there that they were calling.
So, also, you notice that Todd rushed the punt to make sure he got it off.
Yep, it was a low.
So there wasn't a low punt. Coverage wasn't back there in time because all the timing was off.
Johnston with the handoff to Harrison, and he takes D'Angelo Anderson up to the 40-yard line for a gain of 7. Take a look at what else is going on here. Murphy, an impressive win last night as they beat Foley, Baker, and Bryant. Baker on top 7-0 in that one. William McGill and Davidson playing. Mary G. and Fairhope in Fairhope tonight. Saraland and Baldwin County. Interesting matchup there. Get you the rest of the games. Low snap. Johnston now with pressure, and he's going to be dropped back to the 34-yard line. Cedric Allen, the senior linebacker, comes in and drops him for a loss of 7.
Yeah, good tackle by Cedric. You know, we've seen him run through tackles like that, but that time Cedric held on and slung him to the ground.
Again, a low snap, though, that
started
discombobulated that play.
I missed it, so I'm glad I saw the replay because to see Tyler Johnson actually get sacked, I missed it live.
3rd and 10 now for the Toros. Trips up to the far side. And now Harrison comes out, single coverage against Massey to the bottom. Johnston looking over the middle. Trey Three has got it at the 45. Three inside the 20, inside the 5, and the big linebacker with a touchdown reception for the Toros.
Wow. Use the talent you have. There's your Auburn commit as a defensive linebacker, playing tight end. Can he run or what?
And makes the catch.
Yeah.
66 yards. Again, Pittman not in the lineup tonight, and then gets down to the 5, and they're not going to bring him down. Trey Three was our guest on the pregame show. They put him in there on offense, and Ben Blackman was very excited when he made that catch on the near sidelines. And Quinn on for the PAT. And I think Blount jumps across the line here. You're right. I mean, when you have depth, you don't want to play one of your star players both ways. You prefer not to. But in a game like this, all hands on deck. You get a kid not in the lineup.
And even if it's situational, right, Vic?
Sure. You want to get your best 11 on the field, offensively and defensively, just like you guys are seeing, especially in a game like this.
And you might get, if you're a defensive player, we'll listen for Jimbo's call. You're a defensive player. You might get tired on that side of the ball, Vic. 1 second.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike. On the defense, it's declined.
So unsportsmanlike before the snap. I was saying you might get tired when you're out there on defense. Coach puts you in on offense and calls your number. You get a big energy boost, right?
Yo, sure, and especially if it's going to be a pass where you can get a touchdown, or it looks like it's drawn up as such. Been in that position before.
Quinn will try to make it 21-7. A lot of pressure. But the freshman we saw kicking last year as an 8th grader. Saw him make some big kicks as an 8th grader.
Well, so far the difference has been that guy right there, Tyler Johnson, he's connecting on his passes, and the other quarterback is missing on his.
You're right. Tony's been just a bit overthrown on a couple of the balls down the middle of the field, and Tyler Johnston there gets it too.
And I also agree with Vic as far as the design of play, too, the routes that they're running.
Awesome. They're doing a great job getting people flooding zones, and somebody's going to be open.
Finished up the other games going on here tonight. Williamson and Escambia County Faith Academy in Biger. Monroe County and Clark County, Satsuma Cottage Hill, UMS Wright and Southside Selma. W.S. Neal and Thomasville, Hillcrest Evergreen and Bayside tonight, and Hop and Excel playing. Geneva and T.R. Miller and St. Luke's taking on Choctaw County tonight. Leroy and Washington County, always a big one. Sweetwater and Southern Choctaw, Fruitdale and Chickasaw. Milry and J.F. Shields, McIntosh taking on J.U. Blackshear. Busy Friday night, second Friday here in October. Quinn. High kick that Massey, and now we get whistles as the Toros are offside on the far side.
In a hurry to go down there and make a tackle. All excited, jacked up.
Got the kickoff.
Toros are peaking at the right time.
Got the kickoff onto the near side. You know you got to run a long way to go make the tackle from the far side of the field.
Try to pin him over there in that left corner offensively.
So they'll move Quinn back. Quinn back to the 35 after the offside call. Daphne leads Gulf Shores 14-0 in Daphne's homecoming game.
All I can think about when I see Massey back there is Vic's nugget that he runs a 4-4.
That's fast. On a state relay team.
Yeah, fast on any field.
Yes.
They'll pooch it to the far side. Antonio Wright at the 31. And he gets up to about the 34-yard line. This has been a long first quarter with 27 seconds left.
Yeah, 28 points. That's part of it.
And now the Leopards come back out. Both these teams coming in 6-0. What I also thought was interesting, both teams' opponents' record the exact same, 29-33. So it's just about as even on paper as you could find coming into this matchup. Tony with the give to Lorenzo Martin, who lost the football at the end of the play, and the Leopards Alertly, LeBaron Jones able to fall on that one.
That could have been a dagger, even though we're just here waiting seconds of the first quarter. Just emotionally to lose that one.
Yeah, Martin tried to stretch the football a lot as he was wrapped up and had it jarred loose.
Yeah, I think Blount will be happy to let this time expire here and move on to the second quarter. And the Toros, impressive on the hill to open this one up. The Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week on UTV 44. One quarter in the books of the big 6A matchup here tonight on UTV 44. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, big lock it up in the booth. Brian Aaron, our statistician. Jared Kihas in the truck. Tony the inside handoff. Joshua Brown is going to get the first down for the Toros to the 51. And the fourth member of our broadcast crew down the field with an Orthopedic Group's sideline report, Ashley Pope.
There is no need for whiteboards here on the Spanish Fort sideline. They are a thing of the past. You'll see behind me, players are able to watch the game, their plays as soon as it happens. No need for Sunday afternoon review when you have it all down here on the sidelines live.
Technology everywhere, and Tony zips this one up to the 45.
The innovator Fred Riley at Davidson High School.
Yeah, remember
right?
he said he stole the TV out of his kid's bedroom here on Friday nights. And his son.
Well, now that kid's playing for him.
Yeah, right. The kid was not happy.
That's right. Play well, you get the TV back.
What did I do wrong, Dad? Why are you taking that? Gain of 5 on first down for the Leopards. Tony fires it to the near side, and slipping is Charles Shepard. Seen a few players slipping on the field tonight.
And you know, you're going to slip when Johnston's coming right after you, too. And by the way, if you didn't know, Tyler Johnston's brother, Thomas, is going to be a Division I signee somewhere.
It's been offered by
LSU.
every Division I school. Everyone.
A lot of talent on this field, including Shepard himself.
3rd and 5. Tony with pressure coming, steps up. Now he'll pull it down, makes a move at the 40. And he's got a first down and fights through a high shoulder tackle, but he's inside the 35. Look at the quick feet on this one.
See if this was Johnston that came after him. No, it wasn't that time.
That was Thomas who had the interception coming on the safety blitz.
Okay. Boy, quick feet from Tony, huh?
Yeah, and he gives you that shoulder shake where your eyes are, and that just loses you.
Brown on the right side, a flag right in the middle of the pile.
There's going to be a hole in there where that area of the flag is thrown.
DeMarcus Moore, 330 pounds, right in the middle of it, and he's slow to get up, and he heads over to the bench.
Oh, chop block.
Ooh.
We don't want those things to happen. That can be devastating injuries out of that. Being blocked high and low while being engaged.
That's how a lot of injuries happen.
Sure.
Well, if you wonder if it's serious or not, look at how many.
On the offense, 15-yard penalty. On the point of the foul. Remains first down.
Look how many yards are marched off. That's
Yeah.
the seriousness of the event.
Yeah, a 15-yard spot foul. That's, ooh.
Yeah, one went low and one went high on the Daphne defender there. You don't want to see that happen.
First and 25. Tony looking right side, fires it high, and not much there for Antonio Wright, but he'll get a few, and it'll bring up second, still very long.
One of those timing routes to the sideline there. Threw the football for the receiver, even turned around. Quick out. Some cheap yardage back.
On some of those, though, I think that Blount not quite as crisp as Spanish Fort is, and that probably, you know, that Spanish Fort team's been together a long time.
Tony, a lot of time they only rush 3. Tony trying to squirt out and does somehow squirt out of it, and he gets up to the original line of scrimmage, still on his feet. Tony inside the 20 all the way down to the 13.
Man.
That had no chance. That play had no chance.
I got to see the replay just to see how he did it. I lost him in the
Spanish Fort
crowd.
had more spies here than some countries waiting on and still.
Here.
Look at them. They're like, I got what?
Well, he's got 6 people on the ground right there.
And then breaks a tackle, drops the shoulder there, and then makes a move to pick up 31 and
How
complete
spectacular was that play?
all the way down to the 13.
And this is a great defense with a lot of really good players.
A sound defense, too.
In the Papa John's delivery zone, use promo code RIVALS, 2 pizzas, $7.77 each. Antonio Wright on the end around, and a lot of Toros there chasing him down, and leading the way is Thomas Johnston.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, a sound defense there. All kinds of movement by the offense, all kinds of shifts. They said, go ahead and do all of that, but I'm going to be right here waiting for you.
Yeah.
Read my keys, and when the football shows, Johnson right here is going to make a tackle or one of his compadres.
Yeah, he can chase plays down all over the field. I wouldn't try to pick him out and say, let's run at him. But this, again, the Spanish
But then
Fort
the
defense.
opposite way is 3.
Yeah, exactly. They've got so many.
Pick your poison.
Yeah, really, really great high school players.
Timeout going to be taken by the Leopards here with 8:52 to go in the second. The Leopards driving as they got the ball down to the 15-yard line. Time for our New Horizons Credit Union trivia question. Last weekend in the NFL, Vic and I watched a lot of NFL football.
Oh, yes.
Dan does as well. First University of South Alabama Jaguar to play in the NFL. It happened on Sunday.
Yeah, we were talking about those USA Jaguars during the commercial break there.
You got a big
I
night.
am totally stumped on that one.
They got a big night coming up on Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's going to be Tailgate Tuesday.
And so we'll find out who the first Jag was to play in the NFL, and it was his first game on Sunday.
That Tailgate Tuesday is going to be pretty cool. The game's going to be televised on one of the ESPN networks.
Yep.
And just all kinds of crazy tailgating. I know that iHeart Radio, 95 KSJ, we're going to be there with a pregame concert with Craig Campbell, a young country singing star, with free beverage, free food. And we just want to make Mobile show up, show out, and look great.
Tuesday night, you got the whole nation. I mean, you got nothing else going against you on Tuesday.
And not to mention, Dan's going to be there. You'll get your picture made with him. Do some autographs.
That's that's really, and I'm trying to be humble, but that's a really good point.
Yeah, so, and my girl Shelby, I know your sidekick's got to be there. That's my girl.
She can smile into the camera or camera phone.
They're losing to 2nd and 12. Tony fires it to the near side. He had a small window and he couldn't get it in there. And again, kind of forced that one a little bit into double coverage, trying to get to Shepard.
Yeah, he fitted it in there horizontally, but vertically it went to the ground and didn't have a chance to go down there and pick it up off his shoestrings.
Well, if he has a
Maybe
little more
if he
on a
laid
rope,
out a little bit,
or if he throws it a little more on a rope, then the receiver has a chance there. 3rd and 12 from the 15.
crowd getting to their feet to make some noise. The Spanish Fort supporters.
Rolling out. Tony looks, fires it. He's got it complete down around the 5. It's Antonio Wright, but it's going to be short of the first down.
I think you go for it.
I agree with you.
Going to be a lot of points scored in this game. You've got a kicker that can make the field goal.
They send him out to kick it.
Wow. Well, Lev loves his kicker. I know that. Loves having one.
Spanish Fort has only punted one time in this game, correct?
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier, the more you have Johnston watching from the sideline, the better your chances are.
This would be a 22-yard attempt from the far hash. When you're in this close and at one of the hashes, makes for a tough angle sometimes too.
Yep. Antonio Wright.
I'm not sure they're going to get it off. Play is at 5.
And they're running a player out.
Oh, wow, this is a disaster. I think we'll see if they got the timeout. I think Lev Holly did get the timeout called. Yeah, I did. That was going to be all kinds of a disaster there for the Leopards. So they got the timeout. We'll see. What if they think about this here in the timeout, Dan Brennan?
Yeah, maybe that was a sign from above. Go for it. Brennan says go for it.
Well, Lev Holly, I can tell you in my conversation pregame, he certainly believes in divine intervention, and I admire him for that. You know that, and I love it. So Yeah, maybe that was a signal from God to say, hold on a minute,
Hang on
my
a
son.
second. Hang on. And
Get a good look there at the big crowd here in Spanish Fort, and also gives us a chance to tell you, look at that shot just packed in here at Spanish Fort. And I want to thank Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers for being such a big part of high school football here on Friday nights. They're such a big part. It's the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week.
can't get bigger.
That's it. So thanks to everyone at Green and Phillips, and we appreciate them being a part of high school football here on Friday nights on UTV 44 all season long. Throughout the playoffs, we'll be here, and they do keep the kicking team out there.
And you also notice the crowd all decked out in pink.
Yep.
And Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Alvarado,
Very nice for them to do that.
Alvarado Ameo on the kick. Antonio Wright to hold from the far hash. This will be from 22. 10 points are on the board for the Leopards as they make it 21-10 with 8.5 to go in quarter number 2. It's a big one here in 6A tonight on the hill, and so far the home team on top. .10, 8:25 to go in the second. Bobby Totes, general manager of UTV 44 and local 15, right down there in front of us in the crowd here tonight. Aaron's scoring summary, 9 plays, 56 yards, 3.5 minutes. And a 22-yard field goal caps off the drive by Amaya.
Shouldn't he be watching it on one of his TV stations?
He's watching it on his phone while at the game here.
Okay.
They stream the games live.
All right.
Javon Brown. No, that was Peoples up ahead to the 26-yard line.
I think it was tackled by one of his own men there, trying to peel back around and searching for a Leopard to block. Ended up being in the way.
You go to local15tv.com, click on the high school football game of the week tab, and you can stream it right there. We got some folks that are watching over in Destin tonight. I just got a text. You got some folks all the way out in the Midwest watching
yeah,
Big Lockett.
They're watching in Iowa, Oregon. All these Johnson family taking a peek in at the game. Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Cedar Rapids. I told you about the concert days of my youth in Cedar Rapids. This last time we had. So give nothing here to Javon Brown.
Probably some really forgettable memories there.
I mean, who doesn't love a Scorpions concert in Cedar Rapids?
Me.
Van Halen. Saw Kiss and Ted Nugent there a long time ago.
You saw the Stones in Op, according to your stories.
That was a heck of a night. That was a heck of a night. The one and only time the Stones made a surprise appearance in Op. I happened to be in Op that night.
Alabama?
Yes, second and 13. I think they're making a documentary about it as well. So the Toros lose 3, and Tyler Johnston right up the middle.
Wow.
Harrison took a huge hit from Juan Caples.
He stuck his face in there tight.
Caples 6'0", 238. He will play in the middle of that defensive line. He'll come over there, play a little on the offensive side if need be, and he put the big lick on Harrison. Boy, it's one. Harrison was looking to his right and didn't see Caples coming in there from his left.
Yeah.
Say hello to Greg Peterson. Speaking of folks, Greg Peterson watching the game over in Destin tonight.
Folks checking in. This is the game.
3rd and 9 for the Toros. To give, Javon Brown throws it back off. Tyler Johnston. Blount does a good job staying with Johnston on that one.
Yeah, that's some defense discipline we see out of the Leopards right there.
You know what
all
that
the
is?
trickery stuff, but
Probably
they
good-
were at home.
Probably good scouting by the Leopards coaching staff as well to get them ready for that.
Exactly.
It's just keep an eye on Johnson no matter what. Even if you think that the play is not designed for him, it might be.
It'll leave him and then it'll come back to him later, huh?
It's happened twice.
So Brown to punt, and the Leopards should get good field position. Oh, low snap. Still good time, and Brown gets off a great kick. Antonio Wright watches it bounce, takes it on the short hop, and he'll be wrestled all the way back down to the 30-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 33. And let's get another Orthopedic Group sideline report from Ashley Pope.
on these sidelines, you see about everything. And I have noticed Coach Blackman, this is the first time we have actually been on their home side. And this man, he does not stand still. We've seen coaches with headsets, without headsets. He is in the end zone. He is back here in the back in the huddles, on the sidelines, up and down. Don't know if it's nerves or just wants to be involved everywhere.
Tell you what, whatever he's doing is working.
Yeah, yeah. He inherited quite a team, a very strong program. And Ben's a really good coach.
Zipped out to the far side and able to get that one complete to Reginald Todd, and the Leopards have a first down.
A nice job by Todd to, you know, he would say climb the ladder, but he just kind of stood flat-footed and caught that thing, didn't he?
He doesn't have to climb the ladder to
change a light bulb.
Yeah, right.
Right there.
Hey, I'm talking about the light bulbs in the parking lot.
10-yard pickup on first down. Tony drops back, pressure coming, gets away from it, and then pulls it down. Now a flag's going to be for a hold as Tony steps out of bounds near a first down. But, I mean, he looked dead to rights.
Yeah. He looked dead to rights a number of times and ends up with big positive yards. Just an exceptional athlete.
You know, he kind of looks like a little bit like the guy that was at Philadelphia that time. You know, with that little shoulder. Randall Cunningham there.
Well, that's a tough holding call. It's about that's going to be about a 22-yard change of possession, or field position.
Yeah.
During the run, we have hold on the offense. Replay first down.
Vic can tell you about that. The blocking angles change when the quarterback's moving around.
Sure.
People are adjusting and grabbing to make sure that they've still got a gauge on their guy.
Yeah, they're trying to hang on to him, and they don't know where the ball carrier is, and end up sticking their hands out there reaching because they're just trying to give good effort.
First and 22. Tony, with pressure coming from the edge, steps up. Just had to force that one, and wow, he had Reginald Todd up the right side.
Yeah, shocking he didn't find him because that's what he's looking for anyway.
Yeah, I'm surprised. He really didn't look that way.
No, he didn't. He was going with the play that was called. That was his first read. It was open. It just dirted on him there.
They need this first down just to keep the ball away from Spanish Fort.
Well, and they had tilted the field. They had it,
yeah.
You know, the field position working their way. Tony going to pull it down. And we'll get to the 38.
It's not a bad idea. He has actually been their best player from the line of scrimmage, right?
Yeah.
He's made the plays.
Yeah, he's been the passer, the runner.
For a Blount team, you know, what, 15 to go for the first down, it's doable.
It's kind of SOP, standard operating procedure.
You're right. This could be a big stop for the Toros getting the ball back.
3rd and 16. Tony with a deep drop. And he's going to be grabbed. And this time he'll be brought down and kind of awkwardly as well. And a helmet comes off at the end of the play. And now some pushing and shoving. As Robert Lacey had his helmet ripped off and he was not happy at the end of that play. It gave a little two-hand shove. And a lot of times it's the second guy who gets caught.
Well, in this case, I think had there not been retaliation, it would have been going against the first person who initiated it.
And who would that be?
And now you're going to probably have Offset again.
Knight gets the sack.
Yep, there you go right there.
Yeah, Lacey was very upset.
Yeah, you're right. If Lacey just keeps his cool, but, you know,
yeah, the initial guy would have got. Yeah, but
yeah,
it's a tough situation, frustration. You know, you don't like to see it.
See if it's going to go both ways, though, here. I mean, the helmet was ripped off.
The helmet went for 13.
Yeah.
Jimbo Perez, he's been busy here this evening. Now he's over giving an explanation to Lev Holly.
Try to read Lev Holly's emotions. It's about impossible.
I don't want to be. And now Jimbo Perez just tells Ben Blackman to get back to the sidelines.
And Coach Blackman wants an explanation as well.
After the play, we have a dead ball personal foul against the defense. After the play, we have a dead ball personal foul against the offense. They offset. It's 4th down.
Yep.
Good.
And if he was able to keep his composure, like you said, Dan, it would have been against the defense, and then he would have got
automatic
the infraction.
first down.
Yep. And they would have got tons of yardage there.
But again, if your helmet's ripped off, right, I mean, that's
hard to keep your composure there.
Yeah, right. You might take that a little personal.
Yeah. You may get the Pope to punch you back for that one.
They're keeping your composure. I bet the kid in New Jersey had his helmet ripped off, and the guy swung it at him and landed. That was nasty, and he kept his composure.
Yep. A 4th down here for the Leopards. And the Toros with 9 up on the line of scrimmage. Reginald Todd, snap up high, but he's able to get it. He's going to pull it down and try to run for it with 1 man to beat. Todd up the middle, the 40. He's got 10 more to go. Now he's got the 1st down and more, and he's upended at the 38-yard line. Wow, a snap. I don't think that was the design play. It was just
I can tell you that was not.
Watch how high the snap is, but Todd goes to get it and then looks, and he's got all kinds of room to the left and then cuts it back to the right. And he goes 30 yards on 4th and 21.
Great tackle.
To get the 1st down.
Great play.
Touchdown saving tackle.
Here's what you should do. Every time it's 4th down, put Todd in punt formation with no inclination at all that you're actually going to punt it.
Yeah, you just tell him to take a look and make the decision. And that's what he did right there. He just made the decision, took it upon himself and say, hey, this is a high snap. It's probably going to be blocked. Let me just get all I can get out of it. Hey, I'm going to get the touchdown.
And the play started by him being able to catch the snap without it going over his head.
One-handed it, rebounded.
Remember that play in the game. That could be a pivotal play in this game. Give inside and gain of a couple.
Yeah, nice play call. I think settle things down and go with the run play. No need to get excited and try to go up top again. Let's play football. Plenty of time left in this game.
Todd fires it. He's got it complete. Wow, was that right on the numbers? Able to get it off to LeBaron Jones. And you heard that catch come off the shoulder pads.
Yeah, they had to pull it from between the shoulder pads really, and it pierced his chest right there. Nice little slant play, and, man, Tony's got the arm to deliver, don't he, Dan?
Oh, man, pretty.
Cedric Dees with good coverage.
He's right there.
On there. First down. Lorenzo Martin on the right side. Martin gets to the edge inside the 5. Touchdown, Leopards.
Great play selection by the offensive coordinator there, all the way with that drive.
18 yards.
Not giving up on the run.
Exactly. You know you got Lorenzo Martin, who has scored touchdowns in every football game. His granddad called me a couple of weeks ago. Lorenzo McPherson said, hey, my grandboy scores every week. Now he continues the streak here against Spanish Fort. Good bit of running by him.
Now the Leopards.
You know what's so ironic about that, guys? Blount forever has been plagued by bad special teams, bad snaps, not kicking it well, losing games that way. It was a bad snap that led to this touchdown.
With a great athlete making the play.
Right.
High PAT is up and good by Alvarado Amaya, and the Blount Leopards make it 21-17. The Leopards have scored 10 unanswered here. 4th and 21, and a high snap that Reginald Todd goes up to get. Todd, of course, is committed to play basketball in New Mexico State. Went up and grabbed that one
exactly
out of the cylinder.
Exactly. 6'4", 195. If he'd have been 6'3", he wouldn't have been able to field it.
And what a beautiful athlete once he got it and just
like a gazelle.
Beautiful run. I mean, just able to pick his spots and accelerate.
More of our friends bring you high school football, including Papa John's. They're always proud to get you in the delivery zone. Also, Alexander Shannara, the Gulf Coast offices of Alexander Shannara with our Scholastic athlete every week. New Horizons Credit Union, trivia sponsor, a part of high school football. Thank you to them. And now the Leopards will kick off with 3:31 left. And now here's where that deferring until the second half can really come into play. As we see the scoring somewhere with 2.5 minutes. They go 7 plays and 76 yards. The big one, the 30-yard run on 4th and 21. Because now if you're the Toros and you're able to go down, get some points at the end of the half, then you get the ball right coming out of the coming out, and flag before this one.
Yeah, there's some conversation between one of the kickoff coverage guys and the ref, and he didn't like what he was hearing.
Dead ball. Encroachment against the kicking team. stepping outside the 5-yard belt.
Okay, well, I take that back. I've never heard of that one, but maybe you smart guys like Jim Cox and Dan can clarify to me.
Well, it's a 5-yard penalty back to the 35.
Just summarize it, huh?
That's it. It's TV, Vic. You can let the pictures speak for themselves.
Yeah, I got you.
You're discussing with
outside
Jared
of
in the
the
truck.
zone.
All of us are like, haven't heard of that one.
And the kick here coming from Amaya. He's got a big leg. High kick back at the 15. Peoples trying to get it to the outside, and he'll get to the 30. We haven't seen the Toros offense out there for a while.
Well, that's a good
like
strategy.
You were talking about keeping them on the sidelines.
Best way to beat them is let Tyler Johnston buy a ticket.
Halftime, McGill leads Davidson 10-0. Tyler Johnston, 7 of 8, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he's rushed it twice for a touchdown. He rolls out to his left, fires, got it complete. Javon Brown at midfield. And Javon Brown up to the 46-yard line.
Same deal. They just flood that zone over there with 3 or 4 wideouts. Somebody's just makes a mistake, not getting somebody high or low, and Tyler Johnson just going to find him, Dan.
Yeah, he's going to find him. He's going to deliver, and he's really as good a thrower as you're going to see on the run, even to his left.
Against his body, yeah.
Yeah, he's really accurate.
Hey, we've got smart viewers who are going to explain that penalty.
Okay.
We'll get it to you after this play. On first down from the 46 for the Toros. Johnston with time, zips it out to the near side. He's able to get it complete on the near side. Chase White with his second catch of the night. All the defenders on the kick team have to be within 5 yards of the ball. Only the kicker can be deeper. It's a safety rule so people don't get hurt. And
got it. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Not get too big a running start.
Yeah, exactly. Makes sense. Willis Wilcox, our viewer, watching that one.
Thanks, Willis.
Tonight.
I need that.
7-yard pickup, and they give it up the middle. Peoples to the 35, and he's got the first down as we approach 2 minutes to go in the first half.
The snap has been hitting the ground for the Toros here on just about every play, but Tyler Johnson still just making it work. Maybe there's something they'll need to get corrected.
They don't have to do much correcting of him.
Not him, no.
Toros have all 3 of their timeouts. Bad snap again as Vic points out. And Johnston wide up the middle, drags the pile to the 25 for be very near a Toro first down. He's going to be just a few feet short.
One thing that Tony and Tyler both do in slightly different ways. You see how thick Tyler Johnson is, but they will kind of hide behind their blockers a little bit.
Yep.
They get low and they get small when they get in a little bit of trouble, so they can, kind of go sight unseen.
And next thing you know, there's a big truck coming through there, and it's Tyler Johnson.
Yep.
Gives it off. Peoples gets the first down at the 25-yard line.
But I know it's Mark Freeman's gone. Ben Blackman's here now, but it just looks like Spanish Fort.
Yep. I mean, Bryant Vincent, Freeman replaced him, kept right on going.
Looked like Spanish Fort.
Yep. 1:15. Left here in quarter number 2. Johnston looking left, fires it out, gets it complete at the 18, and a move down to the 15. And first down from the 12 coming up here for the Toros.
He does not get enough credit for this hose, man. I mean, Johnson, watching before the game, he gets the ball out there on time. And some long throws too, Vic.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's just finding receivers. I mean, his distribution of the football is phenomenal.
Logan Morgan with the catch there. And we're inside a minute. And the Toros also in the Papa John's delivery zone. 2 pizzas, 2 toppings, $7.77 each. Johnston looking for the fade to the corner. Javon Brown, he's got it for the Toro touchdown. What a throw.
You know, you would think with all the athletes over there with Blount that they can cover these guys.
Not covering them.
But you know what? They're doing their best. But Freeman's just doing a great great job. They got these kids executing their routes. Blackman, I'm sorry,
Right.
so well that, you know, they're just confused. I mean, there's a guy that's there, but with all the trash going around and the crossing routes, he's a step off.
Yep, and then you got the guy that's going to deliver it every time.
He's on, isn't he?
And like we talked about, with just 38 seconds left, Blount has no timeouts left. And Quinn, with the PAT, makes it 28-17, and now you're just a half a minute away from getting the football back to start quarter number 3.
Exactly. You know, and this was one of my concerns going in the game in terms of Blount matching up with them. They've got all the athleticism, but this team has just played so many big games, and they played together so long,
You know,
and with minimal changes, you know, to the personnel, that they're just able to execute.
I was talking with former Toro coach Mark Freeman this morning, now up at Thompson, and I was just getting his thoughts on the games and on this game, and he said, to your point, Vic, he said, you know, we've got a lot of kids on that Spanish 4 team that are 3-year starters. They've been big games. They've won state, and he said, I know at least when I was down there, those kids lived for these games. You know, and then you think about, you know, if you're as dominant as Spanish sports, Ben, you're in a lot of blowout games. Maybe you don't get as pumped up, maybe as so when you get a game when you know I got to bring it, they've always brought it.
Yep, that's a great point by Mark, and who would know better than him?
Short kick. Shepard able to grab it.
You know, that's some of the concerns that they're saying that the folks up at Ohio State's having. You know, they're saying the coach up there, no matter what he says, just can't get those kids up every week until they know the lights are on and it's for the big one.
Whatever the Indiana coach said last week, he had them going.
That works, yeah.
So 8 plays, 69 yards, just under 3 minutes. And the Javon Brown touchdown catch. Hadn't called Javon's number much here in the first half, but they get down there in the red zone.
I'll tell you, I'd get it in Todd's hands. I'd get it in Todd's hands and see what happens.
Well, they're going to have to get 5 more here as there's movement.
Giving the ball to Todd is just like buying a lottery ticket. You might win.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't win if you don't play, right?
And the big play there in the first half, back up the Leopards 5 on first down, 1st and 15. And now you do have to be a little careful down here inside your own 30 with a late turnover.
The quarterback draw, see what you get. Might be an idea.
Fires out, far side. Antonio Wright gets it on a little bubble screen, trying to get out of bounds, and he does not get out of bounds.
He tried.
Yep.
Man, that is a long way, and that ball got there very quick.
You noticed that myself.
Antonio Wright, a guy, as we talked about, not only a great player, but also scholastic athlete. He was our scholastic athlete of the week a few weeks ago. We all fell in love with his mom on TV on Friday night here.
She said she don't play.
Over the middle, able to get it complete, and a move by Charles Shepard into Toro territory with just 2 seconds left now. You're going to have to get up there and be ready to snap it. Is it going to have time to clock it? That'll be the question. He does quickly. Oh, boy, they let the clock run. And Lev Holly saying, how is that? He's blowing the whistle. They're going to bring the Toros back out on the field. There was 2 seconds left, and he got up there and immediately snapped it. And Lev Holly was saying, hey, that doesn't take 2 seconds.
And the coach was trying to run the team off
I'm
the
Ben
field
Blackman.
to get them out of here.
Let's hustle it into the Toro locker room.
Make them bring us back.
Now, if you're watching the game, you're thinking, oh, that's home cooking on the clock. Remember, that's an official running the clock. It's not someone from Spanish Fort
That's right.
running the clock. That's a member of the officiating crew.
Wink, wink, Jim. Wink, wink. Wow, he's going to give him the full 2 seconds, so it didn't take 1 second for him to clock it, according to Jimbo.
And the clock stopped on the chains moving, but then once the chains are set, they start the clock again. So Tony was right up there under scrimmage. He wasn't in the shotgun under scrimmage to get the.
Well, the issue was I think that little ball boy was still on the field, and I think Jimbo held it up. Didn't want to get him hurt.
1.1 seconds here. So Tony, no doubt, has the arm to get it all the way down there, and he will do it to the corner of the end zone. And it'll be intercepted, and Tyler Johnston's going to bring it out. Thomas Johnston's going to bring it out. He wants to run it out to the 19-yard line. There's Johnston back there with his third interception of the season. And the Toros will have the ball to start.
You know, I'll have what the Johnstons are having for breakfast every day myself.
And let's go down. Ashley's got Coach Ben Blackman.
We knew we have two very high offensive teams. What are you going to be doing in the third quarter to keep driving this ball?
We're just going to be aggressive and keep going after them, and you know, just hopefully play hard in the second half. You know, it's going to be a full-quarter game. They're a good football team.
How's the stamina of the team right now?
I think we're good. You know, I think we're good.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Coach Ben Blackman, his team on top 28-17 here at the half, an 11-point lead for the Toros. Every week we give you our player of the week. Last week, UMS Right. How impressive were they? And Chauncey Collier was one of the guys leading the charge.
Yeah, he's got the name of somebody that you send out to get sweet tea, but he plays, man. Chauncey Collier, the tight end with the Butler name. And big kid, I think this is where UMS Right is a little bit different this year.
Yeah, you're right. We've seen some of the big players you talked about, not since Preston Dow. They have a big tight end like that they can go throw it at.
That can run and catch, and he's one right there. We got a chance to see him at Eastern Shore Toyota during the pregame show. We saw he was a good-looking athlete, and then we saw him play and realized, yeah, that was more than just a hunch.
And how good were he and his teammates on Friday night?
They were excellent, and
we may see him again.
Yeah.
May see him again later in the year.
They were fun to watch.
Tonight's game, go to local15tv.com, and you can vote for the high school football player of the week and our Advanced Collision player of the game. In tonight's game, we'll have some choices for you at the end of this one. It's the half. Spanish Fort with an 11-point lead over Blount. We're back for the halftime show after this. Halftime here on the hill, 28-17. The Toros on top. It's time for the Pepsi halftime show. Let's go down and enjoy the Blount Leopard Band. Pepsi Halftime Show continues on here on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. And let's go down and check out the Toro marching band of the Pepsi Halftime Show. Spanish Fort Toros answer back with a late touchdown. Tyler Johnston leading the way after Blount had reeled off 10 unanswered points to bring us where we are at the half here, 28-17. It was a long first half, a lot of plays in there. Saw some great defense, some great offense, but now if you're the Blount Leopards, you're going to have to kick back off to Spanish Fort. You've got to make a stop here to start the second half because I think momentum is already quickly again going back to the Toros.
Let's go to Mr. Defense.
Yeah, well, I think they need to stop them if they're going to get in the football game. Get off the field on third down. You talk about that all the time. It's really important in big games like this.
Yeah, and they haven't done that much in the first half, but they had a little run. Blount got, as we said, 10 unanswered points to pull back within 4 at one point at 21-17. But the first half, we saw some big plays, 44 yards here. Kadarius Toney, that was just a preview of what he was going to do with his legs in the first half.
Yeah, really exciting play and an exciting player.
And speaking of exciting players, maybe nobody more exciting in our viewing area than Tyler Johnston with a touchdown pass there for the Toros. And then this is Martin going up the right side, breaking tackles. He goes into the touchdown for the Leopards, and the Toros come back. Beautiful pass. Trey Three, the starting linebacker. They move over to play a little offense, and a 66-yard touchdown pass there pays off dividends for the Toros. And they have the lead at 28-17. You see things pretty even on their total yardage, pretty even, except Toros not able to run the ball much against Blount, just 39 yards rushing, yet those 2 turnovers costly for Blount. Time of possession dead even in this one. And you see Martin the night so far, he's having, and also Toney for Blount and Tyler Johnston, 11 of 12 through the air for 3 touchdowns. High kick taken. Toros the other side up to the 37-yard line. Let's find out what Lev Holly had to say with the orthopedic sideline group report from Ashland.
Coach Holly just mentioned that his team is getting into the mental state of this game. They're doing just little simple mistakes that they need to regroup, focus on what they're supposed to be doing play to play, not the overall picture.
So the Leopards, after giving up that late touchdown, now we'll see the Toros come out at the 38-yard line. Good-looking crowd here tonight in Spanish Fort.
Yep, always is.
Javon Brown comes in motion. Low snap again. I don't think Brown was set. Tyler Johnston gets it to the 45, but a flag. That's going to be an illegal shift against the Toros, and it'll be 1st and 15. Jimbo Perez, our referee here tonight.
High stakes, high intensity. Jimbo early on tried to kind of...
Illegal motion on the offense. 2 men moving at the same time at the snap.
If you can keep the peace in a game as violent as football, that's what they're charged with tonight.
And to both sidelines, too. He was telling Ben Blackman, nope, don't come all the way out here by the numbers to talk to me. Get back over there. He was just trying to keep everything under control. 1st and 15 now for the Toros.
Still been a situation with the bad snaps from Spanish Fort. The one thing they've had trouble with this game.
Reginald Todd now over at defense, playing safety for the Leopards.
Isn't that amazing? That's what kind of athlete he is.
Why not?
6'4", 190.
Big area, region game, why not? All hands on deck. You guys said it earlier.
Can cover hash to hash in about 2 strides.
Sideline to sideline with his wingspan.
No gain for the Toros on 1st down. 2nd and 15. Again, trouble with the snap. Johnston rolls out, trying to get away from Dungy, fires it up, and it's deflected and incomplete. Yeah, really surprising, that snap issue that's just been prevalent all night for the Toros.
Yeah. And what if they even have many packages where Johnston is under center? It's funny because Blackman comes from a history of running more power football.
Right. Yeah, and Chase Rowe, the senior center, having trouble with the exchanges tonight. Now 3rd and 15 coming for the Toros.
Yeah, they're going to have to get that corrected at some point because it can come back to bite you. It messes up the timing of the route.
Darryl Scott was showing blitz. Play clock down to 2. Good snap this time. To the inside, Javon Brown has it. Javon Brown breaks a tackle, still on his feet at the 40. And he's finally going to be stood up and dropped down there as Sanchez Tucker came up and stood him up there. And Massey came over, and now a flag at the end of the play. Dominic Williams may have been involved in a scrum over there with Logan Morgan. We'll see who this one is. The Leopards had him stopped.
Tucker did a good job just manning him up there face to face. Good tackle.
Boy, Brown is shifty.
What happens? That's against the Toros.
He's shifty and he's very competitive.
And came on and played quarterback after Johnston got hurt last year and took his team to the semis.
On the offense, 4th down.
Because it was after the whistle.
15.
After the whistle, it's 15, marked off, and that's
all the way back to the 32. So Blount comes out, does what they need to do. They get the stop, and now.
Yeah, it's tough to do, and you certainly need to get a few 3 and outs against this offense. Getting off the field on 3rd down, as I pointed out, it's really key, but it's tough to do against Spanish Fort.
Yep, Wright and Massey back to return, and they'll stand at the 38. Brown will punt it from the 12. Pressure, kind of a sideways knuckling punt. And the Leopards have this one roll all the way down. And let's go back down to the sideline and get a Faulkner State Community College Educator Spotlight with Ashley.
That's right. I am here with the Blount Leopards principal, Mr. Woods. Mr. Woods, right now, I know you're on the wrong side right now, so we'll make this short and sweet. Tell us some of the great things right now going on at Blount. I know there's a lot, so narrow it down for me.
Hey, we're focusing on the same thing every other high school is, college and career readiness standards. We're trying to make sure that every student that graduates from Blount graduates college and or career ready. So we're credentialing kids. Our HCAP program specializes in getting CNAs, phlebotomists. We're getting kids ready to go to school or go to work.
That has been such in the news this week, getting kids ready. What do you think something kids also need to know outside of the textbooks to get ready for college?
Well, soft skills. There's a big thing going on now with kids not being ready to do interviews, not being able to speak the right way. So we do a big deal with 100 Black Men of Mobile, bringing them in a couple of times a week to talk with our kids about what a good handshake looks like, what a good interview looks like, how do you do your resume. So we want them to be ready. So when they go for an interview, they get the job.
I feel like I'm being tested right now. Well, I appreciate you talking with us tonight, and I'll let you get back over to your side.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ashley, and thanks Jerome Woods. 2nd down, fired on the far side, and complete. LeBaron Jones be out of bounds, but 3rd and about 7 coming up here for Blount.
Yeah, I'd like to cap that off. Jerome Woods, good guy, played at Tulane, played against me.
Murphy guy, right? Went to Murphy, right?
Yeah, he went to Murphy. And he worked for a while over there in New Orleans before they recruited him back over here to the Mobile County Public School System.
Good job recruiting, getting him back home.
That's right. Good guy, well-rounded. Going to do some good things out of Blount.
3rd and 7, pressure coming. Tony able to get away from it, steps up, fires, and he's got it complete up to the 47-yard line and a 1st down for the Leopards.
Wow. Almost a block in the back there. Almost.
I think you could have called it. What did you think? It was clean?
I thought it was coming. I thought the flag was coming.
Yeah.
So.
Justin Thomas in there with the quick pressure off the right edge.
Watch when Tony changes his angle here. Suddenly, right there, a little push, but they just let it go. Tony makes the throw. If he gets hot, that changes everything.
Up on the far side, he's able to get that one to Shepard, but he steps out of bounds, but he's going to pick up 9.
I'll tell you what, you can leave a single rusher to Tony, and I think he'll take care of him.
It's just, again, go back each time we've seen the Leopards, all 3 games, the poise in the pocket for the junior.
Yeah, he's great.
Just a different-looking quarterback than we saw last year.
And Shepard is all man at 6 foot 190.
They go back his way, makes a move, and he's got the 1st down, and he'll break a tackle. But he's inside the 30, now to the 28.
That was a well-timed comment on my part, if I don't say so myself.
There's a flag about the 34-yard line. That's where he broke a tackle.
He just runs through the trash there and picks up all he could get there.
There's been a lot of flags in this game.
Yep, both teams. A lot of stuff that's after the whistle, too, or late in a
Well, the people in the John is blaming it on TV. I said, no, I don't think that's the case. We show up and we just broadcast what happens on the field.
We haven't got the call. Here we go. Block in the back. That one right over in front of Lev Holly and the Leopards bench.
You think Tony was trying to get him to the line and get a play off real quick so they mark off the yardage?
Jimbo Perez wasn't going to let that one.
He said, hold your horses right here.
Block in the back on the offense. After the penalty, still made the line of the game, first down.
They got to move the chains here.
They got to get the
They're
chains.
not ready yet. There they go. Get that set, and then we see the next play.
Backs him up to the 44. Tony with Thomas pressuring again, airs it out, has single coverage way up in the air for Martin, and he's got it. Touchdown, Leopards. No, it's Massey. But there's a flag right at midfield.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if Massey gets behind you, there's not too many kids, they say, in the state that can catch him.
Wow, and it's not going to count. There's also a flag. I think it's going to be defensive pass interference, the flag that's at about the 8-yard line, because there was some contact. But right up near midfield, right where Tony let it go from. How fluid was that toss from Tony?
I bet you when a ref throws a flag on a hold, the last thing they want, an offensive holding, the last thing they want is to see that play turn into a touchdown.
No question.
Or completions.
Jimbo's going to.
And they probably will offset and just repeat the down.
On the offense. Pass interference on the defense. They offset. Replay, first down.
Wow. Well, the points come off, but no harm beyond that.
Very exciting. It was Knight again in there clogging it up.
Nice job by Massey looking that one in.
That's the thing that scares you about Blount. One play and suddenly everything changes. They're capable any
Tony
play.
wants the same play again. Plays it up in the end zone and just a yard too long. Well, it was same play minus the catch and the flags.
Massey says, time for a breather.
It's 2 50-yard sprints.
Yeah, he's like, do it again, but give me a...
Yeah, do it with somebody else.
Yes, let me have a Powerade.
People at the UMS game checking in, wanting to get the score on this game. Everybody wants to know what's going on. I always check out our Facebook page and get the score of the game. Tony on a quick little quarterback draw on the right side, makes a move, and then another at the 40. And a great tackle by Johnston, but not before he gets the first down.
It's so interesting how players, you look at stats, and they may be similar, and yet they're doing it in completely different ways. When Tyler Johnston makes a move, he's got some quick feet, but a lot of it is breaking tackles.
Power,
yep,
right?
Yep.
And Tony does it. You just can't get a hand on it.
Elusiveness.
But he has broken some tackles, too, so I got to give him credit for that.
Goes up the far side, and Shepard will get bounced out of bounds after a gain of a couple.
But you know the feeling I'm talking about that has got to be prevalent for any defensive coordinator is you don't know that you've got Blount down or beat because they can just, so many explosive players, it's never over.
Right.
They scare you to death.
2nd and 8 at the 29.
Coach Blackman said he got to play the whole half.
Right up the middle, Lorenzo Martin, and he's got a first down. The Leopards to the 20-yard line.
I'll tell you, keep the games we've done, Lorenzo Martin, he has been tough between the tackles, Vic.
Yeah, he does a good job. I mean, he's been the consistent staple for this offense as well. Like I told you, his granddad told me, said he scores every week, Lorenzo McPherson. So, hey, look out for my grandson.
In the Papa John's delivery zone here. Fired out Antonio Wright. He's got a blocker in front of him in some room, and Wright turns the corner. And he is inside the 10, and it's going to be 1st and goal coming up here for the Leopards.
Leopards have got a lot of skilled players who are very comfortable with the ball in their hands.
Text rivals to Papa John's. You get 2 pizzas, 2 toppings, $7.77 each, $7.24. This has not been the big play drive. This has been the little chunks, 10 yards at a time.
Big play got taken back.
Tony rolls out, looking, fires just incomplete, threw it out of the back of the end zone. Good play there by Tony, didn't have anything.
Yeah, they attempted to flood the zone over there, but Spanish Fort was up to the task.
Collins Woods was the only receiver remotely close, but Tony got away. Just got that one away and through the back of the end zone. Scott Cooper and his daughter Curry were watching the game in Point Clear tonight. Just back from a successful trip to Ohio for Scott. Rolling out, long throw, able to get it off. Antonio Wright to the 1. Third and goal coming up. Some of the Blount fans thought he had gotten in.
Yeah, I think Wright thought he got in.
Nice little drive here by the Leopards.
Just outside of the goal line. Good tackle by the Toros, and now up the right side. And the Toros cannot stop this one, and the Leopards have the score. Tony leads his team down for the score. And now Amaya to try again to cut this to a 4-point game.
I tell you, you can throw the trends out for the defenses because both teams have outscored their averages offensively.
And Amaya cannot connect on that one, so it's 28-23.
That's a big one. What could be?
An impressive drive by the Leopards. And let's go down and get our Scholastic Athlete of the Week, brought to you by the Gulf Coast offices of Alexander Shannara. Here's Ashley.
I am down here with Brianna Harris of Blount High School. First of all, congratulations on being so successful at such an early age, 10th grade. You are involved in track and field, basketball, and what was that, a 4.1 GPA? How do you do it?
Well, I'm doing fine. Just got to keep pushing, keep working hard. So.
You have 2 more years, and I will say probably your junior year is going to be, where you really have to strive to succeed. Where do you give credit? Who keeps you disciplined?
Well, mainly my granddad and my uncles, all of my uncles. I got to just keep working.
Why do you say them?
It's just every day. It's an everyday thing that they're always pushing me, whatever it's sports or academics.
Well, on behalf of the Gulf Coast offices of Alexander Shannara, I'd like to reward you this plaque and also a $250 scholarship to be used for yourself. Congratulations.
Peoples gets brought down by Massey on the kick at the 30. And finishing up there, Brianna Harris, just a sophomore, 4.1 GPA, basketball, track, and field. Congratulations to Brianna. And
to combine the competition in those sports where you give so much of your time,
right,
and still be disciplined and smart enough to get the 4+4.
Yeah, good job by that young lady.
Yeah. She can give everybody a lot of credit, but she's the one that's got to actually do it.
Exactly, execution.
Tyler Johnston fakes now over the middle, tipped and incomplete as Javon Brown couldn't hold on to that one, and lurking there was Dominic Williams.
More laundry.
Yep, right at the 30, another flag. You wouldn't think there was time for a hold on that play.
Unless maybe Blount was bringing somebody.
They're going to call it legal man downfield?
Yeah.
Just from the pump fake, I guess.
Yeah, that was
kind of a middle screen, so you had a lineman release obviously very early. And yeah, hard to do that.
Yeah, well, I thought it was just
an eligible receiver downfield on the offense. That penalty is refused. Second down.
You'll take the down if you're the Leopards.
Leopard defense starting to feel a little bit better about themselves.
I think I would have put the yardage on them.
I was kind of surprised by that too.
2nd and 10. Johnston rolls out, fires on the right side into traffic. Not able to hold on to that one. Logan Morgan. And now 3rd and 10 coming up.
Who's on defense?
Antonio Wright.
That kid, just his body language is just, he's excitable and he's just happy to be out there competing.
He was our guest on the pregame show tonight. Again, saw Trey Three playing some offense, and now Lev Holly making sure he's got some of his best players out there.
Yeah, look at that. When you have a 6'4", 190-pound safety in high school that can really run, you got something.
3rd and 10. Johnston, this time to the near side. He's got Javon Brown, and he's got a 1st down. Open field tackle there by Todd, but Brown's going to have the first down up to the 43.
There was the issue with the decision with Big Lockett saying I would have taken away the yardage. They're able to get 12 for the first down.
Yeah, you want to push these guys back, I think. I know they like to limit their opportunities, but still, I'm going to just make it tougher to go the distance.
Juan Caples comes in, and center Chase Rowe took the blunt of that one after the whistle, and he takes the hit, but his team will get the 5 yards.
Yeah, they'll take the cheat one.
And Caples will come out.
You know, they've been doing that all game, and they finally get him on that little quick count because he wasn't even going to snap it at all. He was going to do that and then look over for a play. That's the makeup of their offense.
Caples was all in. Once he decided he was going, he went.
Yeah.
Johnston to Cam Harrison, and Harrison will lose a yard on
good
that one.
play there
Donadio
by
Madison.
Yeah.
You mentioned it, Jim. They have not really had a big night running the football, especially in any kind of conventional way, read option, which now is considered conventional. Brown's kind of won the line of scrimmage as far as the run.
Yeah, 38 yards on the ground tonight.
They're taking that part of the game away.
2nd and 6 after the loss of 1.
Anytime you can make an offense one-dimensional, you are ahead of the game.
Unless that offense is directed by Tyler Johnston.
Play clock at 2, and he gets it off. This one tipped at the line of scrimmage. I think that was Dungy. Mario Dungy got his hand on there and knocked that one down, and there's a flag dropped all the way up at the 39-yard line.
That's where the ball was being delivered to. He was trying to get it over on that side. I don't know if he's thrown it that far or not, but
yeah, it may have been some type of interference or holding, but,
okay, but think about this now. That ball was tipped.
Yeah, the question of the tip is going to certainly play into their decision now, whether it holds or not.
Yeah, holding's holding, but a pass interference can happen with the tip. Holding, okay? That gets called one way or the other.
Defensive holding on the Leopards. Jimbo Perez.
Prior to the pass, that holding on the defense, penalty makes the line of game, we got first down.
Well, they got to him quick if they held before the pass. But the pass came out pretty quick.
Yeah, it must have been at the line of scrimmage, right?
But the flag was all the way back 20 yards downfield.
From the 43, Harrison up the middle. You can see the Leopards pawing at that thing, trying to knock it loose as Harrison gets to about the 38-yard line.
Spanish Fort scoreless so far in the third period. They were an absolute juggernaut offensively in the first half. Blount doing a few things to slow them down.
Johnston fires it out, and that one goes through the hands. His intended receiver, a little underthrown and incomplete. Tyler hasn't had many of those tonight, and third down coming up for the Toros.
Yeah, he caught Justin Brown, the cornerback, in no man's land. He looks like he's about to run it, and he comes over there to support the run, pulls up and throws the pass out there as soon as he uncovers his man. So that's tough to defend.
Yeah, very, very tough to defend, and becoming a very popular play, and defenses still haven't figured that one out.
Yeah, we're looking for Holloway on that one, and Johnston just going to keep it right up the middle, pushes forward. He'll have the Toro first down.
Yeah,
that power we're talking about.
Exactly. On paper, it's about the same amount of yards that maybe Tony got on a given carry, but it doesn't look anything like Tony's. And another thing, they are protecting Tyler a little bit. I say that they could run him a lot more often, but coming off the ACL, they'd rather not do that.
Yep.
But he can be a weapon running the ball. Matter of fact, when he was a sophomore, that's how he was a weapon.
That was his bread and butter.
Yeah.
But this time he gets enough. And at the 32, the Toros. Harrison this time, he's got a hole on the right side. And Cam Harrison all the way up to the 17. He'll pick up 15 on first down, and now they're in the red zone.
Trap play, the blocking was everything.
It was, and good job by Coach Blackman. Just not giving up on the run. They've stopped them, but still stay with it because you've got to keep the defense honest. Can't just turn loose and pass football.
Again to Harrison. This time, D'Angelo Anderson comes in there to make the tackle.
Now the defense now is smart enough and say, hey, yeah, that reminds me, I got to still read my keys.
Right.
I can't just run back here trying to look for this quarterback.
Loss of 1.
Looks like it's an equipment issue on the nose guard.
Yeah,
Getting Warren Caples strapped in good. Player safety, priority 1.
Darryl Scott with the assist there, getting the buckle cinched up on the chin strap. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. Low snap. Johnson looking instead to the near side. Javon Brown battles with Massey, gets by him, and he's got the touchdown.
Tell you what, low snap, no snap, whatever. You know, Tyler Johnson says, hey, it's just football. I'll get my hands on it and I'll deliver it, Dan.
Yeah, and I thought that Massey was in good shape, and suddenly it was like a second move. Well, in any event, Brown is quite a player.
Yeah, it was almost like Massey got forced a little bit out of bounds and then had to come back and try to get back up. You're not going to catch back up to Brown. Now the Toros will try to make this one a 12-point lead, and Quinn does, and it's 35-23 in favor of Spanish Fort. Their first points of the second half with 2:44 remaining.
Well, Jim, you said you liked that offense. You got it, brother.
All right, let's go down to Ashley for another Faulkner State Community College Educator Spotlight.
I have Drew Powell down here of Spanish Fort High School. Drew, you're about to talk about something that I have to admit is my #1 favorite thing that your school does, and that is project outreach. I know right now you're involved in something called Shooting to Change with Autism. Tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Sure. Last year we started Shooting to Change, which is a statewide event aimed at promoting autism acceptance across the state of Alabama. Autism is the fastest growing neurological disorder in the country. Now affects 1 in 68 people. So we're very unique here at Spanish Fort. I was just talking here with Ashley that we now have the boys coach, a girls basketball coach, and a principal, all with a son with autism. So that'll give you an idea of how fast it's growing. But we started Shooting to Change last year. I realized my son was diagnosed with autism a couple years ago. We want to do something to increase awareness and acceptance across the state. Project Outreach here at the school has helped us do that. Last year we sent out almost 400 shirts to coaches across the state that they just wear during the week of Shooting to Change, which this coming year will be January 17th through the 23rd, 2016. So we're really excited about that event. The shirts are free to the coaches, and what we're hoping to gain there is that somebody will see a basketball coach during that week and say, hey, this coach is usually wearing the shirt and tie. What's this T-shirt about? So that's one thing we're looking for, is just to increase awareness.
Tell our viewers, how can they hear about this? How can they get involved?
Yeah, Shooting to Change is on Twitter. It's at Shooting to Change, the number 2. Also on Facebook, Shooting to Change. Also our email is shootingtochange@gmail.org or gmail.com. Questions, comments, if you guys are interested in helping out. It's not really a fundraiser. We have several fundraisers that we do to earn the money to send the shirts out to the coaches. But, you know, we think it's a great event. I was actually in contact with Coach Savarese yesterday. They're again going to support the cause at the Alabama High School Athletic Association. So we feel it's a great event. It's growing, and we're really excited about it.
Thank you. And then just a little bit right here behind us. This is just a little bit of what Project Outreach does at Spanish Fort with their cheerleaders. It's just amazing what this school has got going on right now.
All right, third down coming up here for the Leopards. It's kind of a key, you kind of feel this is kind of a key one here. Pinned down back a little bit, unsuccessful in the first 2. Didn't handle the kickoff real well.
Didn't handle the kickoff well at all.
Gotta get something going here. Tony rolls to his right. Flag incomplete. It's going to be a holding call, and they're going to decline that.
There's a nose guard getting through again, and the center was on his back.
Well, I tell you, I don't like that series of play selection. You know, you got no runs at all in there, so you know I'm not happy about that. But you got to look at the big picture. There's still plenty of time. Toros hadn't completely outstretched them, so.
On the offense, that penalty is refused. It's 4th down.
You'd like to see them kind of sprinkle a run in there somewhere just so that the game just totally fall on Tony. And I'm not fond of these offenses that live and die on the splash play. I mean, you take them when you get the opportunity, but there's some other things you got to do to set that up to come. Well, you can't live and die on that.
Yeah, now you're about to give Spanish Fort great field position here, and we've seen some punting woes from the Leopards tonight, but we also saw a 30-yard run on a long 4th down play. Todd punts it straight up in the air. Does take a little bit of a blunt bounce all the way up to the 48-yard line, but great field position for the Toros.
Yeah, he's in pain back there.
Looks like a cramp. Looks like
a little more than that. I think his foot's turned out a little further than it should be.
He is in a lot of pain right now.
He kicked it straight up.
What happened, Vic?
Yeah, he may have planted wrong or came down wrong. I didn't see it completely, but
I'm hoping the way they're pushing up on it that it is a cramp.
But that foot doesn't look completely correct. Peripherally is not as bad as it looks.
I think you see the way they're trying to stretch him out. And it almost looked like that cramp just came out as soon as his left foot hit the ground there. And he went down.
Left leg, and he was writhing in pain, but don't you writhe in pain when you've got a cramp?
I was about to say, the cramps is probably one of the worst feelings I've ever had in my life in terms of pain. Thank God.
But you also look at now he's been playing a lot more tonight on the defensive side of the football, running around a lot more.
Yeah. Axing those big, long muscles to do a little bit more work than they're more accustomed to.
Yeah, so I'm a few hours short of my medical degree, but I'm hoping that's just what it is a cramp down there.
If you're a few hours, I'm a few light years away.
So Todd down there, and it looks like that is the case. And the Toros are going to have great field position. You're right, Vic. That series from the kickoff all the way back just sent Blount spiraling backwards.
Yeah.
And kind of sucked a little of the momentum out of them as well.
Yeah, you got to say settle and stay with your game plan. Just don't get wild, especially here in the 3rd quarter. And I think the play selection, I just would have liked seeing a run sprinkling there somewhere.
Good news for him and good news for the Blount fans. It looks like he's recovering and will be back in the game, and it can be a big factor.
Yeah, we'd like to see that young man continue to play, and he's got a long career ahead of him beyond Blount High School.
And now you also take out what is the starting center at this point, or starting safety at this point.
Speaking of safeties, they don't have many people back, if any, right now. It looks like one deep.
Wiggins moves over to safety. Marcus Wiggins, 15. Tyler Johnson will keep it on the right side. Gets slowed down a little, but stays in bounds, and now he's up to the 32-yard line as D'Angelo Anderson looked like he had him pinned back there, but instead Johnston makes the move.
You're going to bring everybody to the line of scrimmage to stop on this play Johnston. You better stop him.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't much help back deep. If he breaks that one last tackle, he's in the house.
Tyler Johnston, you see the night he's having there. 14-20 for 223 yards.
See if the rush yards go up here in the 4th quarter as they try to keep the ball away from Blount.
Johnston, a lot of time. Scrambles away, trying to get away from Anderson, still on his feet. Now back up the middle of the field, and here comes the holding flag.
Well, we got one down here between Massey and the receiver that was very early. I don't know what they called on because they just looked like they were competing with me. Then P. Ryan threw one back here deep. So we'll see what the verdict is.
Yeah, the way Johnston was scrambling around there, you could almost feel a holding call coming.
Run, we have a block in the back on the offense.
Or a block in the
During
back.
the run, we have a hold on the defense. We're going to replay it.
Yeah, I guess they call holding on Massey, but I thought it was in the first few yards, and it was good, clean competition between him and the wideout.
We've had so many penalties tonight. We've had multiple penalties
Offsetting
on each.
yeah.
Because actually here with Massey, the receiver initiated the contact. He knew it was something. I just thought it was a run or something.
So all that is first down at the 31. Toros run the play clock down to 8 this time, and Tyler Johnston just slips as he went to take off.
There.
Pushes him back to the 35, loss of 4 as we're inside a minute to go in the third.
You know, he's lived his last 3 years of his life on the UTV 44 game of the week. And I can imagine years from now, people are going to remember, who's that guy for Spanish
Remember
Fort?
that big tough kid that was a quarterback for Spanish Fort?
I mean, he's been and has yet to lose a game, not just on TV, period.
Stuff of legends.
Legends, exactly.
Trying to get to 27-0 here in high school. 409 overall, never lost even in park ball as a kid. Just rolling out Johnston, Chase coming, flips it out wide open. He's able to get that one off to Chase White, and White's going to be close to a first down.
Well, how about Johnson running and keeping his head downfield? You know, you thought he was going to keep it, didn't you, Dan?
Well, but he does a good job of this. But I know you're going to have somebody as an outlet, but to be that wide open.
Well, what they're doing, they're coming up trying to stop him from running it. You know, he had tucked it under his arm, and, you know, it's like, okay, here he comes again, and we're not getting him down, so you start to get more and more aggressive on him. And then he just, you know, oh, I got a guy wide open.
Right, and he was running almost parallel to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
To your point.
Yeah, it's on up there, and Cedar Rapids, Missy, and Todd Barker, I bet they're loving this out of him.
He's also never lost on a live streaming game all the way up to Iowa. Vic's still perfect. Just gives in the inside, and good job by the Blount line to stand him up there. This will depend on the spot. I think he's going to have the first down, and we will have the fourth quarter coming up after this. We are through 3. Spanish Fort has the lead, 35-23 on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week on UTV 44. We are on the hill, and the Toros defending their home turf through 3, 35-23. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Ashley Pope on the sideline, Jared Kihas in the truck, Brian Aaron, our statistician, here in the booth with us as we start the fourth. Toros able to convert there on the last play of the third. Johnston right up the middle to the 15.
Put his head down then. He wasn't looking to shake anybody. Just drive ahead, get all he can get. Good yardage there. Was that 6?
Yeah, and this is against a defense that's been stuffing the run.
Sure.
But they really haven't been featuring him.
Yeah, you can't. They have not stopped him. They've stopped the runs with the backs, the running backs, but not with the quarterback.
Same play right up the middle again. D'Angelo Anderson pulls him down.
You know, when they're not running Johnston, I don't know if they're so much protecting themselves or they're protecting the other team. I know that they want to keep his legs fresh, Jim, and not run him like they did when he was young and post injury and surgery and all, but he still can really affect a game.
He does.
With his feet.
Third and about a yard here for the Toros as we played the first minute.
Trips at the bottom of the
fourth
screen.
quarter. Low snap again, and they give it to Harrison, and he is dropped as Anderson came in. But again, it's the snap that causes the problem.
Yeah, and again, the running backs, they're stopping the running backs. I guess the running backs don't have the power of a quarterback, which is usually the other way around.
Well, he didn't have to give it to him.
But
he could have kept it himself.
He could have. But yeah, Blount has been very, very effective at stopping the running backs. Just the quarterback has been hurting them with the keepers.
Matthew Quinn will come on and now try a 35-yard field goal attempt. Just a freshman. He's got a big, strong leg, 3 of 4 on the year. His long is 39, so this one will be just a little shorter than that. And the freshman with plenty of leg on that one makes it 38-23, so still just a 2-score game. You would need touchdown and a 2-point conversion and touchdown and a PAT. And let's go back down to Ashley again. She's got our Alexander Shannara Scholastic Athlete of the Week from Spanish Fort.
That is right. I have Hannah Frang from Spanish Fort High School, who is a senior, ranked 2nd in her class, people. And not only that, but you also have the athletic abilities to go along with it. How do you do it all?
I don't know. I just try my best to get it all done.
Do you think it is more important to have a, let's say, higher ACT score or higher GPA?
I think a higher GPA.
Do you think that benefits more when you're starting to apply for such schools as the University of Alabama?
Yes, ma'am.
And I read that. What do you want to major in at the university?
I plan to undergraduate in chemical engineering with a minor in business, and then hopefully I'll be able to go to dental school if I'm not sick of school by then.
I was going to say, how do you have time to get out here on a Friday night for a football game?
Fridays is the day I take off.
You're like, Mom and Dad, I need a break. Well, on behalf of the Gulf Coast offices of Alexander Shannara, I would like to award you this plaque. And then also a $250 scholarship. Congratulations.
Well, the cramps appear to be better as Reginald Todd takes this one all the way down to the 7-yard line on the kickoff.
What an athlete.
I thought he stepped out a little bit.
I thought he stepped out up around the 23-yard line or so.
You know, he's got those long strides. Let's see. Right there.
Oh, right there, yep. He sure did. No replay in high school, so Todd with a chance.
Puts his team back in business
get
really
a
quick.
touchdown here. We were just talking in the break, and let's go back and look at all the great things Hannah's done. 4.33 GPA, 30 on the ACT, cross country, track and field. Wants to go to become a dentist after he majors in chemical engineering. So give it off to Tony, pushes ahead. Kadarius Toney looking for a shove from the back.
Wow.
And he's down inside the 1.
Did he not make some shoulder fakes and shoulder lean in that run?
Let me tell you, he is so shifty.
She's right now currently ranked 2nd in her class. This is still back to Hannah. She's in the Key Club. And again, congratulations. Wants to go to Alabama. Chemical engineering, minor in business, then go to dental schools. Those, coincidentally, all Dan's previous majors. 2nd and goal from the 1. Tony on the left side turns the corner, and he's got the Leopard touchdown.
Not just an answer, but because of the great return, a very rapid, very quick answer. And now Blount got to feel pretty good. They're back in it again.
They have cut it to 11 here with, see, they go ahead and kick the PAT now and chase the 2 after the next score.
Well, that gives life to the fans right there to
you mentioned
get a score there.
Mentioned the missed PAT earlier, Dan. So you think, ooh, it only made it a 5-point game as opposed to 4. But now this is where you start to see that get extrapolated out where it can be an issue. And Amaya gets that one just like that. Blount cuts it to 8:38. 30 our score. We got a lot of football left. 9:10 to go here on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. I'm not sure a lot of people expected to see 68 on the board between these two teams, although they're both super high-scoring teams.
Yeah.
But no defense showing up, huh?
They've got such talented defenses. But I was talking to a member of the Spanish Fort staff who said, you know, we're trying to figure out what's it going to take.
All right, what's the number?
Is 28 enough? Is 35 enough?
28's not going to be enough tonight.
No.
7 yards, just 2 plays. High kick. Take it at the 28, and Chase White will get dragged down from behind up at the 20. We'll call right at the 28-yard line as Reginald Waters makes the stop. the Toros. Tyler Johnston will come back out with 9 minutes to go in a one-score game.
Yeah, no protecting the quarterback now. You need first downs. You need the clock to roll.
And for Blount, you need stops.
Yep.
You need to get off the field on third down. Turn it back over to your offense.
Harrison inside, and that closed down quickly. And Madison in there, boy, able to make the stop.
He's had a nice game.
Yeah, he has. And that's one thing that Blount's defense can certainly hang their hat on. If you're going to come in there and try to run it on them, no can do. With your running backs, that is.
Yeah.
Right. Johnson, another matter.
Yeah, another matter.
Madison, just a junior. Loss of one. Johnston has time. Floats it this side, and he's got it complete to Javon Brown. Wow. Dropped that one right in front of the DB into Javon Brown, and they've got the first down at the 41.
Well, Justin Brown was late getting lined up over there, but he still came over and about to make a play.
Almost had to take a little off that one to get it there with the timing of Brown.
Correct, yeah. So that was Brown versus Brown.
Got another Leopard cramping up out here. That might be Madison back there at the 20.
Brown versus Brown. Javon makes the play on Justin. Yeah, this is going to be a 4-quarter game, so the Muscles not accustomed to playing that way. You know, they probably used to being out of the football game at this point with these two offenses.
You think about Blount. You know, Blount's been, they had one. They had the game we saw against McGill, the 17-14 game. They were in it, the whole way through it. Last week, Spanish Fort starters offensively got pulled out, and then Baldwin County scored a bunch of points. And it's like, whoa, they got to put Tyler Johnson, the crew, back in, and he got another score. It's like, okay, now we can kind of get it relaxed. But you're right, this is, and not only that, it's been a long game, a lot of time out on the field tonight, as it's already 20-10, and we got 8.5 minutes of football left.
Yeah, a lot of scoring, a lot of
penalties
have been
key
turnovers.
Stoppages.
Yeah, and another stoppage right now.
Looks like they're about to get.
Well, preferably this is just a cramp and nothing serious, and this young man can go over and get him some Powerade and some water in his system and get back in the game and compete.
Reginald Todd figured out how to get better after he cramped up.
Yeah, I'll have whatever he had just to get through a day of work.
I guess I could use one of those first thing in the morning just to get me going.
Yeah, I know those forearms get tired of pulling those big fish in every day, doesn't it, Jim?
Yeah.
Master angler Jim Cox.
8.5 to go.
Yeah, how that pays the bills.
And master announcer
guess.
guy. I mean, you guys don't know the chaos behind the scenes, but Jim Cox, I'm telling you, he's lined it up tonight and got us to the finish line here.
Well, we got 8.5 to go. I could blow a tire at any minute, Vic.
Dan's waiting in the wings.
Yeah,
or blow something else.
Yeah, we'll get Brian Aaron on the mic.
They'll have Madison. He has to go out for at least a play here.
That gives everybody a little breather too. They've all been through this ringer of a football game, and everyone gets to decompress a little bit.
Sure. No heart attacks. Heart's working.
All that after the first down, completion to Javon Brown, and we're at the 42 for the Toros. Tyler Johnston keeps it, looking for some one-on-one, got hit at the end of that one and throws it incomplete, and a flag in the middle of the field as Cedric Allen came in and got a good lick on Johnson, illegal man downfield for the Toros.
I tell you what, Jimbo Perez has been watching the college game, and he's made an emphasis on these linemen downfield.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had a meeting about it last week. I know they had a meeting about some other issues in another game we saw, but this is really
to see a lineman downfield on a throw that's way downfield, so it's not even like you're setting up a screen or anything.
Right. So this time.
So your point is he doesn't affect the play.
My point is, what's he doing down there?
Oh, yeah.
An eligible receiver downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
So this time Blount takes the penalty on first down, backs him up 5.
Yeah. Same call.
It'll be first and 15.
Different response by Blount. Now they're doing what Dick Clockett said he would have done.
Well, let's see if it's successful at the end of this drive.
At the 37. Johnston time over the middle of the field, and it's going to be picked off. Justin Brown was ready to make it, and Massey didn't know he was back there. They end up colliding with each other.
They are both shaken up pretty good.
Well, that's the first mistake we've seen by Tyler. And,
my goodness.
Certainly it was going to be an interception had they not had the mid-air collision.
Yeah, you're right.
Justin Brown was about to pick this one off.
Yeah, he was just sitting back there waiting on it.
Of course, you're the corner, you're Massey, you don't know that the safety's behind you. Oh, boy, he fell awkwardly.
They might have to replace both guys, which is going to be quite a hole in the secondary. You know, Todd's back in the game.
Yeah, Massey does go out, so does Brown.
Well, you got to replace 2 DBs on the same snap.
Trayshawn Petway comes in to replace Massey. Rolling out. And his knee is going to be down as making the catch at the 40-yard line. Over on the far side. I believe that was Graham, and it's 3rd and about 13 coming up for the Toros. And they bring Massey right back in, and also Justin Brown does come back in. So
good.
Able to get the 2 starters from the secondary. Yeah.
Glad to see they're okay because they did go down in a lump awkwardly.
3rd and 12 for the Toros. Johnston rolls out, fires, and this one dropped.
Wow, he had 2 on one same drive.
Brown cut in front of the receiver, played it really well, knocks it down, and now the Toros will have to punt.
Okay, so it worked out, making them get behind the stick and taking the yardage rather than giving them more opportunities.
Yeah, and I think one reason, Vic, it kind of took, in their mind anyway, took away the run.
Sure.
Which with Johnston, they've been doing better here in the second half.
Exactly.
Clock stops, incompletions. Blunt's got more time now, so everything on after that penalty worked in favor of Blount by taking the yardage.
Sure.
Pushing Spanish Fort back.
Massey and Wright will stand back around the 30. Jamon Brown will punt it from his own 26. Spiraling punt. Takes a big Toro bounce. Wow, all the way down to the 15-yard line. 45-yard punt. And Blount will take back over down at the 15. More of our friends, the Sheriff's Offices of Mobile and Baldwin County and the Drug Education Council, bringing high school football here on this Friday night. Also, our friends at Alpha.
Go see Kathy Austin over there on Highway 9.
And Pepsi.
Is she paid for the whole ad?
More than one Alpha agent in Mobile, Baldwin County, I'm not sure. Inside give, Lorenzo Martin. It's just a couple.
I like the play selection. You know, you're not just going to sit back there and sling it around, trying to get the yards and jump.
And Martin,
you're in the football game.
Yeah, he could pop something.
He could. He very well could. You need to make these linebackers respected.
Gain of about 2, 2nd and 8. Tony steps up, all kinds of time, wide open over the middle of the field. He's able to get that one off to LeBaron Jones up near midfield at the 49, first down.
Big Lockett just made a face I've never seen him make before. Bear was like, did you see that throw? And yeah, we all did, man.
Wow, we don't see that too often. We usually see that on Saturday rather than on Friday night. What is that, 31 yards?
31 yards, and just everything about it, the mechanics, the throw, everything was perfect by Tony.
And so was the pocket.
Swing it out on the far side. Wright makes a man miss, and Wright lunges forward close to a first down. Let's see if that's a flag. It's going to be 15 more as a late hit by the Toros on that one right in front of the Blount bench. That was just a big, I don't know if it was Justin Thomas over there. Someone, let's see, right at the end of this play, Tony. It'll be on your right side of your screen.
Oh, Steiner maybe?
Yeah, it was Colt Steiner, 16. So they had the first down, and now they're going to go all the way down to the 25-yard line.
You know, Steiner's a really good physical player.
Good ball after the play. Personal foul on the defense. 15 yards at the end of the run.
But he's going to regret that move, as does his team right now.
Boy, a few plays ago, Blount's back at the 15-yard line.
That's what they've got. That's why these defensive coordinators don't sleep at night.
Tony dances free back to the 40. Now he pulls it down, looking to throw. He goes high to Reginald Todd, who can't hold on to it. Javon Brown over there in coverage.
They got Spanish Fort on their skating on their
heels a little bit.
Yeah, back a little bit. And
yeah, that was Holcomb. I just want to say that was Holcomb, not Brown on the coverage.
And it's this quarterback who just can elude people, and then when he decides to just go ahead and take it forward, he can do that too.
It's not over until it's over when he's got the ball, right?
I'm telling you, they've got just weapons all around.
We've got a half a football left here. A half of a quarter of football left here. 6:18 in the fourth, 38-30. Spanish Fort. Tony, delayed handoff, and now we got a flag, and Jabril Perez blowing it. Motion going to be whistled against Blount here.
Great play selection. The draw is perfect in that situation.
Boy, and you hate to waste it when you get the procedure penalty there.
Yeah, they got the good blocking.
Yeah,
it looked
just burned that one.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. Remains second down.
Well, at least they maintain their down.
Yeah, they're going to have to fix
time back on the clock.
Yeah, clock ran all the way down to 5:47. Should be 6:18 on the clock.
Wow,
how did you
remember that?
I think I just goobered it up right before that when I said there was a half of a half left. And then I said 6:18 left.
Well, remember also you said an independent source on the clock.
Please reset the clock at 6:04.
Well, they didn't remember it.
No.
.604.
As the crowd looks back here, and Jim's like, I didn't have anything to do with it.
And they only
this side of the
Jim to halfway back.
Yeah. This side of the field was happy with it at 5:47.
Right.
Spanish Fort crowd.
Correct.
2nd and 15. Baron Jones to the bottom of the screen. Tony, time in the pocket, steps up, waits and fires, and Wright can't hold on to it. Are they going to call that a catch and a loose ball? Yes, they are. They put that on the field saying it was a fumble. Wow. I think they're going to say Spanish Fort recovered this ball.
Well, you know, what plays in the mind of the ref is the action of the receiver as well. And he was certainly efforting the ball as if he thought he caught and fumbled it, the receiver.
They're calling it incomplete.
We have an incomplete pass.
Good call.
He never had it.
Yeah,
not long enough.
3rd and 15.
Good call.
That was close.
That was real close.
Wow, what a game.
Could this be Blount's last possession if we do not make?
Well, you think, I was just thinking, are you in 2 downs here? Are you in 2 downs with just under 6 to go?
With Tyler Johnson, I think I would go for it.
Reginald Todd up to the top of the screen. Instead, Tony will roll this way. Now looking. Now he steps up. Now he's going to pull it down. He's got some room if he wants to run. Todd slides and dives up to the 21. He's going to be well short.
I think he makes the decision a little bit easier for Lev Holly to go ahead and go for it.
Right.
No doubt now. Right. He kind of shook himself to the ground a little bit.
He did.
I think he's trying to elude Steiner again, who keeps showing up.
Yeah, lost his footing.
Good and bad.
4th and 7 for the Leopards. We've got to get it to the 15. 4 receivers with Martin in the backfield. Tony over the middle of the field, fires, he's got it up and complete. He's got Shepard inside the 10, 5 to the 1.
Wow.
Oh, man.
How about men? That receiver did a good job. Or just coming back to the ball to catch it.
The catch alone.
And the delivery was there. The defender was there. Yeah. Battling for the football. That's what you want. Kids that'll compete.
The highlight after that.
Tony Mitchell there. Pretty good coverage. And they do not punch it in on 1st down. So 2nd and less than a yard to go. And Leopards are in the Papa John's delivery zone. Text rivals to Papa John's, 2 pizzas, 2 toppings, $7.77 each. 2nd and less than a yard. Tony gets driven back. Was there trouble with the snap on that, Vic? It's like Tony wasn't expecting. The penetration was unbelievable.
Well, I thought he snapped the ball and was stepping back.
Yeah, he did have trouble. He just kind of could not grab onto that ball. And now Blount is going to take a timeout here on 3rd and goal as they lose a yard. Stockton.
Yeah.
Was he going to fake the jump pass or do the fake?
I think it was just a snap, Vic, and Stockton just blew the play up. You don't expect the nose guard to be through the center that quick, and that's what happened.
Okay. Timeout. Offense. The first charge timeout.
Yeah, well-placed timeout.
Half.
You want to get a good play in here on this 3rd down call.
Or 2.
See where they're at, yep.
Make sure you're ready for 2.
And
2 plays.
Well, he's got time to get back in the hole, but the clock's going to be rolling, but no rush. 4:11.
You know, in that first down stop, though, that's the one that slowed the momentum a bit because, you know, you've just had the big play. You got it down there. Now 1st and goal from inside the 1. You think you're going to punch it in, and this Toros defense has, for years, come up with big plays on Friday nights on the Hill. And they've made a couple of more here.
I tell you what, if it was me, I think I'd give to Lorenzo McPherson's grandson.
Grandpa says he scores every game, right, Vic?
Yeah, he's already hit his mark.
Well, instead, they got Joshua Brown in the backfield. Trajan Pugh. Shepard now in motion. Play action. Pressure coming. Tony floats it up. Incomplete.
Nice play call. I felt that. I felt that they were going to boot him out there naked. And they actually had a lineman over there, which you can't be downfield, I guess, down here on the goal line. And he was going to block for this receiver over here on some kind of little screen. With a run-pass option probably for the quarterback.
And blown up by Spanish Fort again with the
good
great
defensive
penetration.
play.
Yeah.
Good defensive play to thwart their effort.
4th and goal from the 2. See the quarterback draw sometimes in this situation with somebody like Tony?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, now you got Lorenzo back there in the backfield, but I'd have liked to see him play earlier.
Todd to the corner screen. Spanish Fort wants a timeout. All of their coaches, but Ben Blackman all the way out to the hash to get the timeout.
Well, you know what? He may have should have let the offense run out of time because it was 1 second on the clock.
Boy, the officials are all upset with the Spanish Fort coaches for getting that far out on the field. And Jimbo Perez, boy, he is emphatically upset about this.
Yeah, but I tell you what, it could have gone disastrous for Blount had that clock run down and they didn't get the play on. That would have pushed them back off that goal line. So, in retrospect, I bet you Coach Blackman will look back at this one and say, maybe I should have just let it unfold.
Well, Jimbo Perez says, I am not going over to talk anymore. I am done talking.
Yeah, I don't know if Ben wasn't getting the response he wanted from the referee right along the sidelines.
What else can you do, huh?
I don't know.
It is kind of loud here.
Yeah.
You're yelling timeout.
Yeah, you can send a pigeon out there with the message, but it'll be too late.
Got a charge timeout to the defense. I didn't see it if he did.
All right, now Coach Blackman's going to have a long conversation with Jimbo.
You know, it's like the timeout has already taken place. The teams ran back out there and were ready to snap the ball.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion right now.
And it's between the adults right now, too. I think at this point we need to just go ahead and play football. I don't know what is there to discuss now. You play the next play.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And maybe give
your
defense,
timeout.
Maybe give your defense another little few seconds of breathing room here.
After chasing Tony around.
And now, Jimbo Perez, he is hot at the Spanish Fort coaches. And all right, here we go. So, all that 4th and goal. It was 1st and goal from the 1. Now 4th and goal from the 2. That's where your offensive coordinator has to dial up a big one.
Earning your dollar here.
Yep.
Well, I think you do something similar, you know, put the ball in the hands of Tony, run pass option type of thing, get him out of that pocket where the danger is, and
Shepard, Todd.
Here's the ball game.
Yeah, you got your big receivers.
Yep.
Todd up to the top, Shepard to the bottom, Antonio Wright.
Line's got a block to give him a chance.
Extra blocking back in there. On the option, they pitch it out. Martin trying to get the corner. He's slowed down. He lunges in. He's got it. Lost the football. Touchdown, Leopards. He got in and lost the football. Wow, he had to stutter step, and it looked like the gap was going to get closed, but he gets in, and what about this play call? How about it?
I was thinking option, but they haven't been running it all night, so I don't know how well they would do it or if they had it in the playbook. Boy, crackback blocked it, really.
Touchdown for sure. Cross the line.
Cross the line.
Boy,
That's
and you know,
I wasn't sure until the replay.
I hope Colt Steiner's all right. You saw it as he was coming in on Martin. His leg kind of looked like gave out underneath him, and that's what slowed him down, and then he got hit. Bang, bang on 4th down. See, there's up the top of your screen.
Oh, his own man?
No, Steiner.
Is he the one on the ground, or is he the one that's above?
He's on the ground by this point.
Okay.
You know what he does every week, Vic Lockett?
Scores touchdown. Per his granddaddy.
Lorenzo Martin makes it a 2-point game.
Yeah, Lorenzo McPherson says, my son scores every week. Look out for him, Vic. Well, he scored the touchdown that keeps him in the football game. Now, all crucial 2-point conversion.
Yep. They scored from.
I think a few of the Toros defenders thought they had stopped him when that ball came loose. They, with some jubilation, came over to the sideline. All right.
Well, that's good to see.
Yeah, Steiner gets up there.
Yeah, that's good to see.
Yeah, prayerfully that young man's A-OK. Come over to the sideline, get him a power 8, and get back in the football game and compete.
He got blindsided and then some.
And lost his footing right before the hit. Kind of leg went out right before the hit.
Steiner out. Then you want to have everybody out there for this one, all your linebackers, but you have to put in a backup for Steiner right now.
To go for 2.
The crowd's on their feet all around the stadium, even in their cars.
Tony looks open. 2-point conversion to Antonio Wright. And we're tied.
Like it was nothing.
Just a football game to that young man as well.
You got it.
Nice long pass. They say they are here to compete. We got us a ball game, guys.
Yeah. And Antonio looks like he's on a trampoline right after he makes the catch.
15 unanswered by the Leopards after being down 38-23.
Who does that at Spanish Fort?
Not many.
Wow.
Tonight, Matty T.
Not in Tyler Johnson's lifetime, not any.
Yeah, I was about to say not any. Very good point. Take the M off of it,
right.
Not any.
26-0 as a starter. And how about that missed extra point? They make it up here.
Yep. Well, now you hear about a lot in the NFL, the 4-minute offense. Can you get it? Run it down, take it out, 3:55 to go.
Who else would you want running your offense than a third-year starting quarterback?
All-state,
and Mr. Tyler Johnson.
Blount's had some answers here in the second half.
Goosebumps up here on my
I'm telling
arms.
you, this is something.
We're just not used to it. We've been through a couple
we got the game
lopsided, but this week it is.
We got the game of the week. Yeah,
yes.
we got the.
And it was properly promoted, too.
Yes.
To everybody we knew. I had Cox on the Breakfast Club on KSJ today, and I would have had Lockett too if he would have returned the call.
Come on. Technical difficulties.
Frank Lott checking in, watching the game in Spring Hill tonight. He just got home and just saw that last drive. Chase White, the 27 for the Toros. Now he's got a little gap. He's going to have good field position to the 43-yard line. And, you think about this, it's 10:01. We've got a lot of fans who were at other high school games tonight. They've got home. They're sitting on the couch. They're flipping on UTV 44, and they're saying, dang, we got 4 minutes of football left.
Yes, I hope they are, because they may have assumed it's over, but it's not. And it's not only not over time-wise, it's far from over score-wise.
Got an injured Leopard down. You think these young men are going to sleep well tonight?
No doubt.
Well, the loser probably won't sleep as well. I will say that.
7 plays, 85 yards on that drive for the Leopards in 3 minutes and 22 seconds, aided with a 15-yard penalty. On that one, Sanchez Tucker gets up. He's one of the starters on defense. He'll come out for a play. Oh, can you just already think of a semifinal matchup the last weekend in November, right back here between these two teams playing in the playoffs to see who goes to state. Already thinking about another 8 weeks down the road.
Yeah, but why not?
Oh, we've got 3:46. And let's get down to Ashley, get another Orthopedic Group sideline report.
Coach Blackman just grabbed Tyler Johnston and said, now it is time, it is time. Coach Blackman is saying we have got to execute this ball right now. Very calm in a situation like this. I know I'm a little bit hyper down here, but this man is staying very calm.
26-0 as a starter, keeps it, goes on the right side. Dungy chases after him, but Tyler Johnston up to the 49.
He's a little more slippery than you think, too, and even with the injured leg.
He just runs through tacklers.
He and Cam Harrison bumped into each other in the backfield at the snap there.
Well, you know, Blount was in this position in the playoff last year where they had the mishap at the very end of the game.
6-yard pickup. Johnston keeps a big hole on the left side and then cuts it back, and he's all the way to the 40-yard line before Darryl Scott wrestles him down.
Well, just like Ashley reported, looks like they're going to lean on him, Dan.
No theatrics after the big run, you know, just not in his DNA. He just gets up, he's thinking about the next play.
Yep.
Start the clock again when they get the chains moved.
No more protecting the quarterback. I talked about that early in this period, and now, especially now.
Tyler Johnston dives to the 36, and, you know, they got a freshman kicker who's got a strong leg who's made one from 39 this year.
Blackman's basically saying, okay, if you think you're going to stop us, then you're going to have to stop him.
Yep, got to stop 17.
Yeah. Right?
And until they do, I mean, they've got no running game besides Tyler Johnston tonight. They have not been able to run the ball from the running back position. It's been all Tyler Johnston. Gives it off Harrison. It's going to be close to the first down, maybe just about a half-yard short. Blount with 2 timeouts left. The Leopards with 2 timeouts left as we approach 2 minutes to go.
Well, this is working out very well for Spanish Fort. And when you say, okay, they've got a kicker, but he's only a freshman, remember, he kicked last year.
As an 8th grader, yep.
Right?
Clock running inside 2 minutes.
Look at this, everything tight.
3rd and about a yard. They pitch it to Harrison on the left side, and he has the first down.
How about that call, Vic? Everything tight and a pitch.
I'll tell you what, they were selling out, weren't they?
Now if you're Blount, you start thinking about a timeout.
You're also thinking about a turnover. Maybe you can rip that ball out.
26. Harrison, the senior running back. And looks like some movement by the Toros.
I'd like to see the stats on how many times Johnston's dropped it ever. He's like a human vault trying to rip it away from him.
1st and 15. This will back him up to the 32.
You think they should decline?
I do not.
No, it's Coach Levy here.
Johnston fakes. I wanted to throw up top, and a little miscommunication between he and Javon Brown there.
Boy, they could have thrown the flag there. I think the fact is it was overthrown, though.
Yeah, it was uncatchable?
I think it was uncatchable. Otherwise, you might have a flag there. And it's one of the rare times where Tyler Johnston and his receiver not on the same page.
Exactly. We have not seen that at all, if any, tonight.
2nd and 15. From here, it'd be a 49-yard field goal. Johnston looking left side, bullets it. He's got it complete. Zips it off and gets it to Logan Morgan, who is down to the At the 19-yard line.
Timing on these routes, Vic.
Yeah, he does it all. I mean, he fakes a little hidden duck there and then stands up and delivers a pass.
Went out of bounds, stopped the clock.
By the way, good catch.
Yep. Logan Morgan, a junior.
Gonna pop out of here and go with Tyler, you would think, right?
And the Toros going to take a timeout. 1:19 left. Next week, it'll be up to Murphy and McGill to follow this act. It's like you don't want to be the comedian that follows a great comedian on stage.
Right.
They're going to have their work cut out for them next week. This is Murphy and McGill 7A matchup. Hey, we've been so busy we haven't even got to our trivia answer. So New Horizons Credit Union last weekend marked the first time University of South Alabama Jaguar played in the NFL.
I don't have it.
We have stumped the pen. Dan Brennan follows the Jags about as closely as anyone.
You know what? Evidently not.
New York Jets played Wes
tight end.
Sexton, the tight end, free agent signing this summer. Got into his first game this past week.
Wow.
Becomes the first of hopefully many Jaguars to go play on Sunday afternoons.
He won't be the last.
Third and 2. I'd like 17 to keep it in his hands here.
Yeah, they got that zero coverage back there with those receivers.
Johnston goes to the left side and cuts it up the middle. He'll have the first down to the 15.
Just what I suspected.
Every time we're at Spanish Fort, we're out on the field early. We're kind of milling around, and we always notice the kicker.
Yep.
The young kicker doing his thing all by himself.
Toros in the Papa John's delivery zone. Want some post-game pizzas. 2 of them, $7.77 each. Brennan has not stolen a pizza from anybody in the press box tonight, like weeks past, so he might have to take advantage of that offer.
I'm wanted in Saraland. Look at this.
Inside give to about the 14.
Oh, I thought Johnston still had it, Big. I was faked out.
Play clock down to 45. And Cedric Allen lost his,
lined up now.
Yeah, he lost his helmet, so he'll have to go out for a play here. And Blount will take a timeout with 39 seconds left. So they're down at the 15, so it would be a 32-yard attempt. It's a little early with just 39 seconds left, but I did send you a text this afternoon, Dan Brennan, how I thought this game would end.
Yeah, you did.
So we got evidence, huh, of a prediction.
Yeah. Let's see if we can.
Not video, but documentation, huh?
Yep. Yeah. You sent it to Hillary Clinton, but we can't find it anywhere.
You can checking our servers?
38-38. The Leopards were down 38-23. Have stormed back, had to get a 2-point conversion with 3:55 remaining. They scored on 4th and goal from the 2. They got it, then had to get the 2-point conversion.
Well, you saw some Leopard pride, if nothing else.
Second and 10 from the 15. Tyler Johnston on the right side. Just lowers the shoulder. And he'll pick up 1, maybe to the 14. And a timeout taken with 31 seconds left. As Blount takes the timeout here. 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 8, and that was the last Blount timeout. So now you got a freshman kicker, as Dan talked about it. He made big kicks last year as an 8th grader. He's 3 for 4 on the year.
By the way, I just got under the guise of not revealing everyone involved in this. I got a text from someone who said the pass too far over the head does not apply in the high school game.
Yeah, it does not.
And
yeah, we saw a little bit of tangle back there.
That could have been called.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter anyway too much, because now where Spanish Fort sits is about where they wanted to be.
It's a 30. It'd be a 30-yard attempt from here. Do you try to get closer? Do you go for the touchdown? You got the quarterback. You got Javon Brown on the outside. You got third down. You've got one timeout remaining.
You've got some pretty nosy defenders on the other side. I don't know that
I wouldn't put it in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody up at the line of scrimmage. Tyler Johnston will keep it. Johnston in the center of the field, and he's going to push it.
Wow.
And set it up, and let's see, the Toros will let the clock run down. They've got one timeout left, so they'll let it run all the way down, take their timeout, and we'll see if the freshman kicker can win this game.
I thought I heard a whistle 5 seconds ago.
Wow.
Ben Blackman calls it with 2 timeouts, 4th down.
There's number 1 to go out here and win it.
Matt Quinn, the freshman. Jacob Johnson, 302 pounds of an offensive lineman with words of encouragement to the young freshman.
Yeah, don't miss it.
There's my big friend there, Jacob Johnson. I never told you guys, but he called me at the end of the game, or not at the end of the game, during halftime when we were over at McGill and said, hey, I heard you talking about me. I just want to come over and shake your hand.
That's nice.
When I saw him come up on me, I started looking in my pocket to give him my money. He's so big. Scared me to death.
He's a guy that pulls a lot in this offense. Very active for a big guy. Now, the activities around the kicker.
So it's either this or overtime.
Everybody on their feet in the stadium, visitors and the home group.
Jackson Carlisle to hold. Matt Quinn. This will be a 28-yard attempt. 3 for 4 on the year. Long is 39. Kicking right toward the Toros home stadium, home dressing room. Matt Quinn, the freshman. The kick is up. There's a flag. The kick is good, but there is a flag. A flag, a flag, a flag. It was a low snap. Good job by Carlisle. The fireworks are going.
They might have to put them back in the can.
Wow. That would be bad if it, we got to see what happens here.
Looks like it's going to be against Blount. I think the crowd just told you who the penalty was against.
Because I did not hear Jimbo at all.
41-38.
Two good football teams here.
Yeah. Spanish Fort wins it. The freshman kicker, Matthew Quinn.
Boy, I hope that they can sincerely just go through this line and congratulate each other for playing so well.
Oh,
right?
yeah, you're going to see the good sportsmanship out of both these teams. They're led well by great Christian coaches, both sides, and they treat sportsmanship #1 priority one.
What a game. I mean, we said before the game, what else can we possibly say to get you more ready for it? And afterwards,
same thing. You know, sorry you missed it is what we can say to people who did. But, man, we were treated to an outstanding performance by both teams today, especially these offenses. And like I said, Spanish Fort, Brain Trust saying, what's it going to take? It took a field goal with no time left. That's what it took.
Took 41 points.
Yeah.
And if you're Blount, you tell Lev Holly this week, you go to the Hill, you score 38, you like your chances to win?
Sure do.
Yes, no doubt.
What a game between these two. I mean, hats off to both schools, both coaching staffs. Look at and Ben Blackman over talking to Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, I think that's class right there. And Ben is a big friend and big supporter and booster of Lev Holly. I don't know a coach alive that doesn't think the world of Lev Holly.
That's really a cool shot there. Ben Blackman, he's been on the other side of games like this. He knows.
Well, I tell you what, this has all been built up, and it was exactly what it was supposed to be.
Oh, and it hurts. If you're Blount, it hurts like crazy, but you'll have to get ready to get after it next week. And how about you got Spanish Fort taking on Daphne, which is their big rival.
Yeah.
their tank's going to be a little low just emotionally going into that game.
And can you imagine Spanish Fort being a little low to play Daphne? But they're going to have to regenerate some of that because this took a lot out of everybody on the field, Vic. You've talked to, you've played in games like this. I'm sure it's tough to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, you're all high, you peak, and everybody tells you how big a game this is all week. This isn't just a conversation on Thursday and Friday as it usually is. The hype started for this game after the wins last week. On last Friday, and it's just only build until this explosion right here, Jim.
Yeah, we joked about it in the pregame show with the coaches, about saying, hey, we're so ready for this one. We're already thinking round 2. We want to see you guys play in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
And they were both like, just let us get through through this one.
Yeah.
But now if you're Blount, you're dang sure hoping you get a rematch going on here. So let's go down to Ashley. She's on the field. She's got Ben Blackman and Tyler Johnston down there with her as well. Ashley.
Well, I was actually having to get prepared to go either way with this interview up to the very end. Congratulations. You got to give me more than you did at halftime. You got to tell me how proud you are of these guys.
Hey, no doubt. These kids are resilient. I mean, nothing comes their way that phases them. I mean, I'm so excited for them. I mean, hats off to Blount. Great football team.
Yeah.
Great game plan by Coach Holly and what he's done. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them again. I mean, just to be honest with you, they're such a great, talented football team. Number 4 is a talented, athletic quarterback. I'm very proud of our kids. They showed resiliency. They battled and battled and battled. No matter how much adversity came their way, they never gave up. And that's championship right there.
Not only your players, but yourself.
Yeah.
You held it in well. You did. But it takes a coach to show the players.
Thank you.
And Tyler, for you, I have never seen a high school quarterback manage a clock the way you can manage it and just keep that ball, ready for that field goal. How were you able to just handle it?
You can't do it without a good team. I love my team, man. They just do great for me. I couldn't do it without them. And that win right there, I mean a lot. That was a great game from Blount, and I'm just proud of my team right now. And I'm proud of that team too. Hey, it really impressed me right there, and that's one of my best games I played against.
Is this what Friday Night Football is all about?
It is. I love it.
Well, go celebrate. Congratulations.
I mean, Tyler Johnston with a big smile on his face. I mean, he's won state championships. He's won so many games. He's never lost. It doesn't matter what happens. This is going to be a game he's going to remember his whole life. I mean, this was such a great Friday night.
Yeah, and, big-time adults are in front of the cameras all the time, make huge faux pas and mistakes that they've got to say. And what does he say? I'm proud of that team over there, too, talking about Blount.
Yep.
After giving everything he had as a great competitor, a great player, he acknowledges the other team when most people are just in the moment of, we did it.
He's a 16, 17-year-old kid.
Yeah,
I mean,
and Tyler's never even about, I did it, so our team did it. So class act all the way around, and what a performance again, and we're used to seeing that, Vic.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Great young man. His parents are great. You can see it coming out. And, like we did last week, he spared the accolades amongst his team. And the same things that Coach said about his team, you could say the same thing about Blount because it was a gallant effort. They gave it all, and they left it on the football field, and that's what we like to see.
Some happy viewers online in Oregon and Cedar Rapids, Iowa
That's
tonight.
Right, for certain.
Hey, our players of the game, Matthew Quinn, the kicker who came in, made the 28-yard field goal to win it at the horn. Tyler Johnson, the quarterback. Kadarius Toney, the quarterback for the Blount Leopards. Go on to local15tv.com, and you can vote for the player of the game. 41-38, our final score. We said it was the player. There's Coach Blackman. We said it was the game of the week in the state of Alabama, and I hadn't seen what happened anywhere else, but we were right. This was the game of the week in the state.
Well, we're getting all kinds of Facebook notices and personal texts from people watching this thing that were overwhelmed by just what they saw on the field, and we get it. We're right here. Big
rally by the Leopards. They tie it late, but 3:55 left. Tyler Johnston gets the ball back, takes his team down for the win, 41-38. So for Ashley down on the field, Jared Kihas in the truck, Brian Aaron, our statistician, Vic Locken in the booth, Dan Brennan. I'm Jim Cox saying good night from the Hill for the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. It's one of the best ones we've had in a long time. And the Toros stay perfect, 41-38.